Because he's too ugly. The man looks in the mirror every midnight. As the offspring of human and beast, his father wants to kill him. His mother despises him, though he's a noble prince. He grew up being treated like trash. Even on his wedding day, he wears a steel helmet, so that even after 82 days of marriage, Lillian still has no idea what her husband looks like. Lillian is a miserable woman. Her father married her off twice for his own benefit, but both husbands unfortunately died. Lillian was branded as cursed to bring death to her husbands. Her greedy father even threatened her with her siblings, demanding she marry again. Lillian had no choice but to marry the Duke. Rumor has it the Duke is ruthless and decisive, a war maniac who conquered 4 kingdoms. Not only that, as a member of the royal family, half-demon blood flows through his veins. He's an illegitimate child. Soon they planned the wedding. At the ceremony, the groom appears in full armor, his face completely hidden. After the wedding, the party returns to the Duke's territory. A wet nurse accompanies them in the carriage. Lillian's father sent her to spy on his daughter and ensure she bears a child. The smooth ride suddenly shakes violently. The knights immediately surround the carriage. "It's demons! Protect the lady first!" The wet nurse frowns, grabbing Lillian. "Even if we die, you're dying with me, miss." When lives are at stake, all the wet nurse cares about is that Lillian's face doesn't get scarred. Her own father is worse than a stranger. A demon wolf with glowing red eyes appears outside the carriage. Lillian turns and spots the demon. Suddenly, a sharp sword pierces straight through the demon's heart. The moment the demon falls, a handsome man appears. The wet nurse beside her faints from fear. Lillian looks at the man. Could this be the Duke? If not, I'm sorry. The man across from her says nothing. The two simply stare at each other in silence. A voice breaks the silence. A soldier runs up in panic to report. There might be something big around here. The soldier looks at Lillian. "We're still far from the castle. What about the lady?" With one glance from the man, the soldier immediately understands. "I'll mobilize everyone to safely escort the lady back to the city." The man intends to hunt the demon alone. Lillian's face fills with worry. The fainted wet nurse suddenly rushes out, carefully checking if Lillian's face is scarred. The man turns to leave. "Taryn, guard my wife personally." The wet nurse continues, scolding Lillian. "I told you to stay still. This dress is expensive. Get rid of that wet nurse." With that, he mounts his horse and rides off. At night, Lillian has returned to the castle. Following the Lord's orders, a maid covers her eyes. "You absolutely cannot see the Duke's face." Lillian is left alone before the enormous door. Footsteps approach. Lillian asks nervously, "Is that you, my lord?" A large hand suddenly wraps around her waist. Lillian touches the man's chest. "Who is it?" A deep voice whispers in her ear. "Were you waiting for me, Lillian?" Lillian's hands are pinned down, unable to move. Her eyes are covered. Panic sets in. She repeatedly begs the Duke to let her remove it. The only answer she gets is no. Lillian breaks free and touches the Duke's face. "You're the one who made me wait so long." Her hand feels smooth skin. For someone who fought on battlefields, his skin is surprisingly soft. He must be handsome. Why won't he let her see? The man grabs her hand, stopping her from touching further. "If you're trying to provoke me, I'll give you a reward." The Duke's words remind Lillian of that day in the church. "We don't have to do those things." "So you remembered. You even look like you're looking forward to it." When Lillian wakes again, it's already morning. She's alone in the spacious room. Last night just continued, without her realizing it. She even forgot her eyes were covered. That feeling wasn't so bad. Realizing what she's thinking, she quickly stops herself. These thoughts are too dangerous. Lillian goes looking for the wet nurse who came with her. Suddenly, the door opens. Both she and the maid outside are startled. The maid looks terrified. She trembles as she apologizes and begs for forgiveness. Lillian, concerned, asks if she's hurt. The maid's helpless expression reminds her of her siblings. Lillian smiles and tells the maid there's no need to apologize. In the maid's eyes, she's an angel. The maid's name is Beta. She leads the lady to the greenhouse. Lillian is happy someone cares about her. As a commoner before, she was always looked down upon. "What kind of person is the Lord?" Beta says without hesitation. "The Duke is a good person. As you know, people like us find it hard to even get married, let alone find work. But the Lord allows anyone to work here, though he can be strict sometimes. The Lord didn't mean to leave you alone. He said you had a fever, so he went to fetch the priest." Lillian, who was fine until now, starts to feel unsteady. "My lady!" A knight from the entrance rushes over. Illness strikes suddenly. Lillian loses consciousness. The Duke summons the priest. The priest assures him repeatedly that the lady is fine. She was perfectly fine when she went to the greenhouse. She must have been frightened by the demons on the way back, plus being exhausted by you all night long. The Duke coughs awkwardly. Behind the priest, Lillian makes a sound. The Duke rushes forward. "Is the lady awake?" "Tristan," Lillian calls out. Lillian must be delirious with fever. Does she think he's her sibling? "Don't tell father I have a fever. You'll get scolded." The man doesn't respond. Lillian asks for confirmation again. The Duke wants to know who Tristan is. Could there be another man protecting her? For now, he responds to Lillian. "I know. I promise." Reassured by his answer, Lillian closes her eyes peacefully. "I'll watch over her tonight. You go back first." Before leaving, the priest asks, "How long are you going to hide that face of yours? The lady is already weak. She'd be frightened if she saw this face." The Duke answers. The priest looks at the mirror in the bedroom. "I suppose you bought that to look at yourself for the lady's sake." Lillian's body body recovers quickly. She asks Beta, "Where's the wet nurse?" Actually, the wet nurse was kicked out the day we entered the city, but Beta doesn't know the specific reason. The priest comes to visit the lady. Taking this opportunity, the priest formally introduces himself to Lillian. "I'm Ivan Gill, the Lord's faithful priest." Ivan looks relieved. "Thank goodness you recovered quickly. I wouldn't want the servants to lose their heads. They're all good people." Lillian covers her mouth, worried. "What about Beta? She's a capable maid, so she escaped disaster." Ivan bursts out laughing. "I'm joking. I didn't expect you to believe it so easily. Ha ha ha!" Lillian is a bit angry. You shouldn't joke about things like that. What Lillian cares about most is still her husband. What kind of person is the Duke? Now it's Ivan's turn to be shocked. You really haven't seen his face. Getting Lillian's affirmative answer. Ivan understands. In a way, the Lord is insecure about his appearance. "This won't do!" Ivan slams the table and stands up. "If you want to see his face, just go." The priest decides to take Lillian to find the Duke. The maids carefully dress Lillian. They transform her appearance. Lillian puts on gorgeous clothes. She never imagined she could wear something like this. The maid says, "After all, you're the daughter of a wealthy merchant. Of course we can't neglect you. I heard your father discovered 3 diamond mines and already signed an agreement with the royal family." Only Lillian herself knows that if she had refused this marriage, her father would have had no chance to cooperate with the royal family. Moreover, she was the one who discovered the diamonds. There's a knock at the door. "My lady, are you ready?" When Ivan brings Lillian to the night training grounds, she's still worried she might be too formally dressed. Here, Lillian meets the knight who escorted her back that day. The scene of the 3 talking catches the Duke's attention. Which idiot let the priest in? "And brought my wife, who just recovered." Here, the Duke strides down the stairs. Ivan is chatting enthusiastically, praising how the lady married beneath her station. Unaware the Duke is already standing behind him, Ivan awkwardly calls out, "Commander!" Lillian looks at the commander, whose expression isn't pleasant. She nervously grabs her skirt. "I came to see my husband." Hearing this, the Duke's heart stirs, but he still signals Taryn with his eyes to send the lady away. Taryn sighs and apologizes to Lillian. She must leave. They must obey the Duke's orders. Lillian suddenly looks at the commander. "As the Duke's wife, I came to see him. Will the commander stop me too?" No woman in the world would trust a husband who hides his face, even though Lillian says this. The Duke still refuses to reveal his true face. Taryn steps in to mediate. "The Duke will see you at the castle." Lillian leaves, disappointed. "Tell the Duke I won't look at his face." After leaving the training grounds, Lillian realizes belatedly that she disobeyed his orders. The Duke must be very angry. Perhaps he's already starting to hate her. Her marriage is such a failure. Urgent footsteps sound from behind. "I'm sorry." The Duke embraces Lillian from behind. "I can't let you leave like this." Lillian's eyes are covered. "You're covering my eyes again." The Duke says he'll only show his face when he earns Lillian's trust. The Duke sounds a bit jealous. "Call me Vlad. After all, you called Taryn by his name directly." Lillian embraces the man. "You don't need to mind how I address others. Besides, I can only see you at night, and always in the bedroom." Vlad caresses Lillian's face. "Why did you defend the priest?" Before Lillian can explain, the Duke lays her down and leans over her. "I know it was his idea for you to come find me." With her eyes tightly shut, Lillian's eyelashes tremble. "How does the Duke know?" As the man draws closer, Lillian presses against Vlad's chest. A sense of familiarity washes over her. Unable to hold back her curiosity, Lillian suddenly opens her eyes. "It's the Knight Commander!" Vlad gently brushes her hair aside. "Who are you looking for?" "My dear wife, I'm right here in front of you. Haven't you always wanted to see me?" Lillian's eyes snap open as she sits up in bed. How could she have such a dream? As Lillian eats breakfast, a maid brings tea, saying it's from her hometown. "It can help you relax, my lady." This tea. It seems he sent it again. Her father had the wet nurse deliver some before, and she had to drink it under the wet nurse's supervision. After she drank it that time, she felt weak, but the doctor couldn't find anything wrong. This time she refuses the tea. "I assure you there's nothing wrong with this tea." Without her noticing, Taryn has appeared behind the table. "The Duke personally selected this tea for you, and all the tableware has been inspected to prevent any signs of poisoning." Lillian is stunned. Vlad seems to care about her deeply, but she hasn't done anything for the Duke. She even had that absurd dream. Taryn also reveals his purpose for coming. "Your family is at the city gate." Lillian is worried. If her siblings suddenly visit, they must not be doing well. What will Vlad do when faced with unexpected guests? Taryn leads the lady to meet her family. The Count guarding the gate strongly opposes this. The Count strongly objects. Without the Duke's permission, no one can enter. Moreover, this lady is just a commoner used to bribe nobles. Taryn argues firmly with the Count at the gate but still cannot persuade him. After waiting for some time, Lillian can't hold back and comes out herself. Though the Count bows to her respectfully, he still won't budge. "You seem truly concerned about your master and the safety of Cabas City." Her fair skin is as soft and luminous as a pure white shawl. Her exquisite silver hair shines brilliantly. The Lord's wife seems more noble than imagined. "Pleased to meet you, Count Valkas." After greeting him, Lillian states her purpose. She's only here to see her family off, not to bring them into the city, Lillian says in a calm tone. Count Valkas looks at the lady before him in surprise. Her voice is still sweet and gentle, yet firm. However, in front of the Lord's soldiers, ignoring the Duke's wife is not a wise way to prove loyalty. Lillian looks up at him, her gaze elegant and calm. Count Valkas awkwardly turns to the soldiers and orders them to open the gate. Lillian smiles slightly, relieved. "Lillian!" A silver-haired boy waves his hands excitedly. Lillian rushes over and embraces her sibling emotionally. Tristan came with them too. Tristan greets Lillian elegantly. "It's been so wrong? Your dress looks beautiful. It seems the Duke treats you well. Lillian is happy. She's indeed adapting well. Her sibling is still worried because, on the way here, he saw on a bridge a severed head hanging, sending chills down one's spine. And there's Taryn behind Lillian, who looks frightening too. Tristan casually puts his arm around Lillian's shoulder. My lady, why don't we go inside and talk? Lillian lowers her head, avoiding their gaze. I'm glad you came to see me. She removes the hand from her shoulder. Please visit again after obtaining the Duke's permission. You must have the Duke's approval to enter the city. But he's out right now. The Duke, who Lillian says is out, is currently sitting in the church, troubled. His undisciplined subordinates shamelessly approached his wife. The poor priest is being chased around. A subordinate comes to report. The lady's sibling has suddenly come to visit. What would you like to do, my lord? Vlad says without hesitation. Do everything as my wife wishes. Lillian leads them into the city. They talk for a long time, not having seen each other in years. For some reason, Tristan brings up the time when he was young and proposed to Lillian. Young Lillian confided in Tristan that she didn't want to get married. What did Tristan do then? He took Lillian's hand, offering her tulips. The young man promised her that one day he would propose with even more beautiful flowers. Marry a friend, not a man you've never met. Isn't that better? That's what Tristan told Lillian back then. Lillian didn't expect. He still remembered this. Tristan thinks for a moment, then suddenly leans close to Lillian. Am I more handsome than your husband? Lillian doesn't know how to answer this question. To her, what her husband looks like doesn't matter. You're lying. Tristan knows her too well. He calls her out without hesitation. You haven't seen the Duke's face, have you? In the evening, Vlad returns to the castle. He sees Lillian pacing in the room. She continues like this until dark. Lillian holds a candlestick and a ribbon in her hands. This afternoon, Tristan encouraged her to disobey the Duke's orders. Tristan told her that if the Duke knew she didn't care about his appearance, it could resolve the misunderstanding between them. Under his encouragement, Lillian made a decision. She hides the candlestick. She'll sneak a look at him after her husband falls asleep. What she needs to do now is cover her eyes before the Duke returns. My wife is such an adorable little thing. A deep voice comes from behind. He's back. My lord, I can't seem to tie this properly. Vlad steps forward to help her. He corrects how she addresses him. Call me Vlad. Call me by my name. The man's fingertips brush through her silky hair, as if tickling her. The unexpectedly gentle touch makes Lillian's heart race. Why is she so nervous? Lillian asks her husband with concern. Were you hurt by demons during the campaign? As a wife, she should ask. Vlad holds Lillian's hand and tells her not to worry. He's perfectly fine. He's so careful, as if Lillian is a fragile doll. Lillian withdraws her hand and touches Vlad's cheek. What about now? Vlad smiles slightly. His wife is really adorable. After nightfall, Lillian, who is sleeping soundly, opens her eyes. The man beside her is already asleep. Lillian sits up and looks at him. Even Vlad's sleeping form from behind is something she's never seen. The man always leaves at dawn. The moment Lillian gets up, Vlad wakes. Lillian thinks she hasn't been noticed. She carefully retrieves the candlestick from under the bed. There's nothing to be afraid of. She'll just take one look, then immediately blow out the candle. Now she just needs a little light. But when she turns around, she discovers Vlad has sat up. Before Lillian can see clearly, a large hand covers her eyes. She seems to have angered the Duke. The sudden hand makes Lillian's body sway and the candlestick drops from her hand. The Duke pushes Lillian down. It seems you're prepared for the consequences of what you've done. Vlad's deep voice is cold as a blade. Go on, keep trying to see my face. If you can bear the consequences, then continue. Seeing what I really look like will only make this marriage worse. This angry Vlad frightens Lillian, even though he's trying to suppress his surging emotions. Lillian closes her eyes tightly and turns her head away. She's certain the man before her is Vlad, yet right now he feels so unfamiliar. Lillian seems to use all her courage to tell the man she just wanted to prove she doesn't care what his face looks like. Vlad gently wipes away her tears. Prove? Are you doing this to prove it to your sibling or to me? I did it completely of my own will. Lillian urgently wants to prove this. Vlad doesn't believe Lillian's words. He releases his hold on her. It's hard for you to refuse those family members, so even unwillingly, you agreed to marry. Vlad covers his head regretfully. Her concern for him is nothing but sweet nothings. What was he even expecting? Vlad gets up to leave. I won't disturb you anymore. Lillian is full of regret, but it's too late. She wants to make Vlad stay, but he leaves without hesitation. And the instigator of all this is Lillian's childhood friend Tristan. He did all this out of selfish motives, all for Lillian, because of Vlad's departure. Lillian can't sleep until morning. Sunlight falls on her face. She struggles to lift her eyelids. A letter has appeared on the table at some point. My dearest Lillian, it's from Vlad. In the letter, he tells Lillian, he's leaving today on business. Don't wait for me tonight. If you need anything, find Taryn. The letter also mentions the commander. What happened last night probably left Vlad unsure how to face Lillian, so he chose to avoid her. Right now, Taryn is at the door plucking leaves, struggling with whether to wake the lady. Damn it, I can't wait any longer. Taryn knocks on the door, calling for the lady. Lillian puts away the letter. Come in, Taryn. Vlad asks the priest for advice about last night. Ivan suggests, why not just be honest and tell her everything? Vlad is unwilling to do so. Ivan Ivan speaks boldly. Anyway, if this happened before she saw your face, she'd want to divorce you. She might already be thinking about it. Vlad angrily grabs Ivan and throws him aside. I think I should send you on another campaign. If you keep speculating about my wife like this, your head will hang from this castle's ceiling. Ivan swallows nervously. Suddenly, there's a sound behind Vlad. Lillian covers her mouth, looking at them in shock. Ivan frantically straightens his clothes. My lady, how did you get here? Ivan's actions only make it more obvious. Lillian completely misunderstands. It seems these two handsome men are in love with each other. I was just going to confession and passed by here. I didn't know you two were. Ivan hastily explains it's not what the lady thinks. Lillian waves her hand reassuringly. I respect your preferences. I won't disturb you then. With that, Lillian turns and runs, leaving the two men petrified in place. Lillian, who left in a hurry, clutches her chest. What did she just see? My dear Lillian, please wait. Vlad chases after her from the church. Lillian stops in her tracks. What did she just hear? Damn it, it's all Ivan's fault for making him say the wrong thing. Lillian walks up to him. Knight Commander, may I ask you a question? Did you leave a letter in my bedroom? Lillian stares intently into his eyes. Could you be Vlad? In the letter Vlad left for Lillian this morning, he specifically mentioned there was no need to be wary of the Knight Commander. Last time, just defending Ivan was enough to make him jealous. Now he's asking her to trust a man she keeps running into for some reason, yet barely knows. Wait, keeps running into? Lillian recalls every moment since arriving at the castle. Could it be that he is Vlad? That's right, now everything makes sense to Lillian. Even the voice is the same. Could you really be Vlad? She asks directly. The man's heart pounds thump thump. Where should he start? How should he explain himself? I'm so sorry, Knight Commander. Lillian suddenly speaks up. Knowing you're married, I made such assumptions. I'm such a fool. Vlad's mood darkens. Of course she won't believe that a man with such a face is her husband. Lillian makes an excuse that Taryn isn't around. She asks the man to escort her back to the castle. At this moment, Lillian is certain this man is Vlad, but until he tells her himself, Lillian plans to pretend she knows nothing. They'll have much to discuss. Wind picks up on the way back. Lillian regrets leaving her coat with Taryn. A warm coat suddenly drapes over Lillian's shoulders. Thank you. It's Vlad's coat, Lillian says with a smile. I'm guessing it's the Duke's orders? Vlad's heart inexplicably stings. There's even a little snowman in the corner. Did you make this snowman, Knight Commander? Lillian laughs out loud. Sorry, it's just hard to imagine. Vlad's face flushes red. Lillian teases him on purpose. I'll keep it as our little secret. The Duke wouldn't be happy if he found out. By now, Vlad knows full well that Lillian is doing this on purpose. He picks up a branch and writes, "What does my lady think?" Lillian didn't expect they could converse this way. She takes the branch and writes, "If you're brave enough, then yes." Vlad smiles happily. It seems he'll never win against his lady. Lillian stands up. Using the newly learned sign language, she tells the Duke, "Because I trust you, please respond with trust as well." Vlad sighs. "Just because you don't need to be wary of me doesn't mean you can look at me with such sweet eyes." Lillian and Vlad walk hand in hand back to the castle. As soon as Vlad returns, he orders the servants to prepare hot water. "Vlad, my hand." Lillian switches hands, so she wanted to switch hands. The other hand must be very cold. The servants in the castle watch the affectionate couple in surprise. Lillian feels shy. She grabs Vlad's hand and runs. "Let's go inside to talk." Beta tends to Lillian's hair. "I never knew the Duke had this side to him. You don't know how surprised we are. Thanks to you, the castle's atmosphere has become so lively these days." Lillian responds gently, "I've grown to love this castle because of all of you," Beta says happily. "You and your family are equally generous." Her family? Lillian feels a bit worried. Dandelion didn't do anything wrong, did he? You mean the one with the ponytail? He just asked a few questions. Things like how much the pay is and whether we like this kind of work. So it was Tristan. But how could he get into the servants' quarters? Beta awkwardly leans closer to Lillian. No one knows what she whispers. Lillian looks shocked. She immediately sets out to find Tristan. Lillian, in her beautiful red dress, stuns Tristan. "You're here. Are you unloading cargo from the capital? I can take over. This is my responsibility as the lady of the house." Tristan hides the inventory list. "This matter might be difficult for you to handle, so I'll take care of it. Don't worry, they're safe in my hands." Even so, Lillian raises her voice a bit. People around them turn to look. "Let's go inside to talk." Lillian and Tristan sit down face to face. "You look different today." Lillian sets down her teacup. Tristan strikes a pose. "You look like you're in pain." Lillian thinks he must be uncomfortable somewhere. Lillian tells Tristan frankly that she's seen her husband's face, so father should have no reason to continue worrying. Tristan doesn't think so. Before departure, her father said contemptuously that his daughter was no different from anyone else, just like the prostitutes Tristan controlled. He only needed to confirm that Lillian had no problems with childbearing. Lillian questions Tristan. "Did you go to servants' quarters?" After Lillian found out what Tristan did, he actually feels relieved. "So you know, Lillian is displeased. You're staying here as my guest, so please respect my people." Tristan slams the table. "You're too naive. You know nothing about this place." He walks toward Lillian step by step. "Your husband just treats you like a collectible. I learned this from talking to those people." "What do you mean?" Tristan reaches out and lifts Lillian's silver hair. "He still hasn't shown you his face. Don't you find that strange?" Just as Tristan gets close to Lillian, Vlad stands right behind them. "Your husband married you because of your curse that brings death to husbands. That's why he married you." Tristan despises those with physical disabilities. Those things wandering around this castle, abandoned by the entire world. If Vlad truly considered you his wife, he wouldn't let those things serve you. He's merely collected you out of interest. Lillian pushes away the man in front of her. "I I know. Tristan is surprised to hear this. I'm a cursed person. Isn't this kind of treatment quite good? Lillian says sadly. Thank you for worrying about me, but I didn't expect you saw me this way too. Tristan shows no remorse and continues sowing discord. I'm not the one you should blame. It's that monster with demon blood. Vlad silently walks toward them step by step. Lillian tells Tristan firmly that it doesn't matter whether her husband is a monster or a demon. At least compared to you, he's a good person. You should apologize to my husband. It seems the position of Duchess suits you well. Tristan, failed in his brainwashing attempt, grows agitated. How long can your relationship last? What if he gets bored and lets other women in? Sensing someone approaching from behind, Tristan deliberately says, You've been married 3 times now, but wasn't it me who comforted you each time? Only I know how much you detest this marriage. Vlad steps forward and removes Tristan's filthy hand. How dare he touch his wife? Whether she's the Duchess or your friend, you shouldn't pressure her this way. Tristan looks unwillingly at the Duke. What, scared? Because the monster is right in front of you? Taryn, take him to the dungeon. The charge is assaulting a noblewoman. Vlad looks at Lillian and pauses. Then he continues. And soliciting the castle's maids into prostitution. Lillian can't believe it. Is this true, Tristan? Tristan maintains his elegance. I hope you won't be fooled by this, Lillian. The couple silently watches Tristan being dragged away. Lillian feels apologetic about this. I'm sorry. I didn't expect such a thing to happen. Vlad tells Lillian to rest well. Beta will stay by her side. Vlad gently pulls Lillian into his embrace. Once you've calmed down, we can talk about it next time. Lillian worries that Tristan's words hurt her husband. What about you, Vlad? Are you okay? It's okay, Lillian. I also know why you defended him before. Don't worry about me. Vlad doesn't want to say more. He turns and leaves. Even Lillian's voice can't make him stay. There's a rift between them. They still haven't opened their hearts to each other. Even Taryn can't stand it anymore. Rather than adding more guards for the lady, why not reconcile? Lillian hasn't eaten anything for several days. Beta doesn't know what to do. What if the lady collapses like this? Taryn invites the lady to go out for a walk and talk. Is something troubling you? Lillian looks bitter. She feels like she can never be close to Vlad again. Her husband has been avoiding her for several days, even though her eyes are no longer blindfolded. Even when face to face, there seems to be an insurmountable chasm between them, although we still don't understand Lord very well. Even now, I can clearly tell you that he's someone who dares to break social norms. If things like rape and prostitution happen in his territory, they'll be sentenced to death. Only after speaking does Taryn realize that the lady's friend will probably meet the same fate. He quickly explains, your friend should be tried first. Only Lillian knew that Tristan had been sent to watch over her in place of the wet nurse. Taryn, take me to Vlad. Lillian's request is rejected by the Duke. It's not a simple pardon. He must also pay the corresponding price. Lillian is thinking too simply. What man can tolerate his wife pleading for another man? Vlad refuses her proposal. When Lillian was unconscious that time, she was calling out Tristan's name. They must have been together all this time in the castle. Vlad presses his forehead in frustration over his own jealousy. It seems I shouldn't have come. Lillian turns to leave. Vlad can no longer suppress his emotions. Don't go, Lillian. Gradually, because of you, I feel like I've become a fool. Vlad hugs Lillian from behind. What's laughable is that I actually don't mind. Don't call his name so affectionately. It makes me jealous. Lillian looks directly at the man before her. Vlad, I don't understand you very well yet, but I'm willing to understand. The couple finally opens their hearts to each other. Vlad takes Lillian's hand and kisses it gently. If you're willing, I'll tell you everything about me, one by one. Vlad can't help but kiss Lillian. Lillian quickly stops him mid-kiss. Wait a minute, what if someone comes in? Vlad chuckles. Didn't we do something even more outrageous here last time? He moves closer to Lillian and considerately locks the door. Or are you subtly asking me to open it? Lillian bristles. Absolutely not. Last time, I have no memory of that at all. Then today is your first time seeing this with your own eyes. Lillian recalls that time. Was it on Vlad's desk that time? She pushes the Duke away hard. It's all your fault. Vlad looks at Lillian adoringly. Yes, it's all my fault. But you can't blame me this time. In the prison, Tristan still hasn't recovered. Lillian's husband actually has such a face. Dandelion stands outside gloating. With such a handsome face, it's understandable that she likes him. A nobleman who's handsome and has good character is truly rare. The Duke, whom Dandelion is praising, has somehow appeared behind him. Dandelion is startled by the Duke's sudden appearance. Did he hear everything just said? Although I don't know how you coaxed Lillian. Who do you think she'll believe more between the two of us? Tristan's words make Vlad frown deeply. You talk as if you know everything. Of course I know. Lillian has been tormented by her family her whole life. She even thinks her mother's death is her fault. No one in this world can bring her out unless she walks out herself. So I'd rather have Lillian come to rely on me every time she's in pain. But you took that position away. Vlad corrects Tristan. It's not reliance. It's pain that keeps her content with the status quo. I imagine you must have already fallen for her, but Lillian probably didn't reciprocate. After your previous methods didn't work, you started threatening her. Isn't your behavior just like that person's? Exposed, Tristan flies into a rage. Aren't you the same? You just need a pretty quiet wife. Vlad draws his sword and points it at Tristan's neck. If that were the case, Your head would have been cut off long ago. The sharp blade cuts the skin. Blood flows down his neck. I'm different from you. I can stand against the whole world for Lillian. I'm willing to be her trophy. So you'd better not have any expectations. Vlad allows Lillian into his study without reservation. About me, why don't you look around here, looking at these documents? Lillian realizes Vlad has to care for all the residents of the territory. It must not be easy, Lillian murmurs. He's both a good lord and a good husband. A book suddenly catches Lillian's attention. It's a book about demons. What is this? A sound suddenly comes from outside the door. Dandelion insists on entering despite Taryn's attempts to stop him. What's going on, Taryn? After hearing what Tristan said in the prison, Dandelion finally learns how much his sister has sacrificed for the family. Lillian doesn't understand why he's suddenly saying all this. Her brother confesses it was what Tristan said while arguing with the Duke in prison, and then the Duke raised his sword. Lillian grabs Dandelion. What? Vlad took action himself? Lillian rushes to the prison. She begs Vlad to spare Tristan's life. Vlad throws down his sword in disappointment. What kind of feelings do you have for this person? As the lady of the territory, you actually come to beg me. Vlad turns to leave. He's afraid of hearing an answer from Lillian that would hurt him. Lillian lifts her skirt and chases after Vlad. It's not for Tristan, but for myself. This answer surprises both men. Lillian walks toward Vlad step by step with determination. This time, I want to resolve it myself. After all, letting Tristan into the castle was my responsibility. When I went to your office earlier, I wanted to discuss whether anyone was hurt and to apologize. As she says this, Lillian lowers her head. I'd rather be like before, unable to see your face. Now, even when we're face to face, there's an insurmountable chasm between us. I don't want to continue like this. Lillian's tears stream down uncontrollably. For the first time, Vlad learns his wife's true feelings. He reaches out and embraces Lillian. He holds her tightly. Lillian feels that Vlad is even more anxious than she is. Taryn, the prisoner's punishment, shall follow the lady's wishes. Vlad solemnly holds Lillian's shoulders. I also have something to tell you. The real reason I covered your eyes during this time. Back in the bedroom, Vlad tells Lillian that he is just as the rumors say. He has a face so ugly it's hard to look at. Looking at the handsome face right in front of her. Who said such a thing? You're clearly very handsome. Definitely not an ugly appearance. Vlad's heart pounds. She actually said such an outrageous compliment. Isn't that what the rumors say? I thought you knew. Lillian recalls what the wet nurse said on the road to the castle. Vlad calmly explains, my mother was a demon. The deranged emperor wasn't satisfied with humans. He didn't even spare demons. So I was born. Everyone who saw me was terrified. The emperor didn't want to keep me for even a moment. He ordered me executed. But strangely, whether buried in the ground or thrown into fire, I wouldn't die. Even my mother despised me like this. People in the palace saw me as ominous. Rather than staying there, living on the battlefield was more comfortable. After confessing, Vlad closes his eyes. He's afraid that Lillian will also dislike him like those people. A delicate hand caresses Vlad's face. Lillian's face is full of heartache. It must have been very hard all this time. Her comfort is unexpected. Vlad sighs. You're always like this. Lillian is confused. What do you mean? Vlad touches Lillian's hand. It means I don't want to miss you. So don't get hurt anymore for those unworthy people. If you need anything, just give orders. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone, even if it's me. Though Vlad's words are sincere, Lillian doesn't quite believe them. Am I that important to you? But you covered my eyes and deceived me by saying you were the Knight Commander. If you really care about me, can you grant me one wish? With Vlad's consent, Lillian brings Taryn to tour the territory. Taryn is surprised the Lord actually agreed. Lillian is curious about how people live here. Taryn says happily, Lord brought me here not long ago to pick gloves for you. He worried for a long time about making sure you'd like them. While they're talking, a group of children walks by cheerfully. The innocent and carefree children remind Lillian of her former self. Back then, she was just as free, full of curiosity about the world. Her unexpected remarks always angered her teachers. She had such times too. Perhaps she was watching too intently. Lillian gets separated from Taryn. She wants to find Taryn, but the vendors are too enthusiastic. Lillian is completely lost. Better to return to the starting point and wait for Taryn. As soon as Lillian starts moving, she feels someone following her, but when she turns around, there's nothing. Suddenly, a hand lands on her shoulder. Lillian falls heavily backward into someone's arms. Better be careful in a place like this. A low voice sounds by her ear. It's Vlad. He helped her avoid a thief in the market. Unable to rest easy, he secretly changed his outfit and followed her out. Lillian praises him generously. This outfit is very handsome too, though I clearly wanted to come out alone. Vlad coughs awkwardly. Because I can't see you, I feel anxious. Lillian embraces Vlad. Since you've already dressed up and come out, let's stay outside the castle for a night. Just like an ordinary couple, night falls. But Vlad can't sleep well. He sits up abruptly. The conditions here are mediocre. He doesn't want Lillian staying here. The woman soothes her husband. This place is already quite nice. There are many more places without heating in winter. Besides, aren't you by my side? After saying this, Lillian lies back down on the bed first. Vlad lies back down helplessly. Lillian proactively hugs his waist. The sudden action makes him uncomfortable. Will it be warmer if I sleep holding you like this? The next morning, Lillian, still in her dreams, suddenly feels an unusual sensation under her hand. A smooth touch makes her wake up abruptly. What's going on? Vlad looks proud. You can touch more, my lady. You're awake. Why did you take off your clothes for no reason? reason. The man smiles and embraces his wife. The fireplace went out in the early morning. I thought holding each other like this would be warmer. Lillian recalls her suggestion last night. She turns away shyly. Put on your clothes quickly. That's an order. Vlad. Back at the castle, Lillian receives many valuable gifts, all prepared by her husband, while Vlad is busy with government affairs. The air in the conference room is as heavy as the bottom of a swamp. A handsome young man with a gentle face breaks the silence. I believe the residents of hideous territory shouldn't live like frogs in a well. We also can't keep refusing the royal envoys. We should open the territory's gates. Vlad clenches his fist. He disagrees. Those people won't treat the people with disabilities and wounded soldiers in the territory kindly. Otherwise, why would Tristan risk taking my castle's maids into prostitution? The young man can't lift his head when questioned. The priest doesn't want the Duke to violate his principles. That guy called Tristan. Are you going to pardon him? Vlad is silent for a moment. That person's punishment will be decided by my wife herself. In the prison, Tristan is being escorted out. He smugly tells Lillian's brother that Lillian wants to see him personally. It seems the reconciliation is going smoothly. How could this be? Because Lillian has never let me down. Tristan kneels on the ground with his hands bound behind his back. He expresses his gratitude to Lillian. Thanks to you for stopping the Duke. I've been thinking about you all along. Seeing Lillian sitting there without answering, Tristan feels secretly pleased. Lillian must be wavering. She's still so easy to coax. Tristan hasn't been happy for long when Lillian, who's been silent, speaks up. Tristan, you're no longer my friend. The man feels like he's been struck. Because you wanted to turn my people into prostitutes. You came here to monitor me too. Tristan refused to accept defeat, defending himself. But everything I did was out of necessity. I've been sacrificed in my whole life, Lillian. We're the same. Others don't understand me, but at least you should. Tristan drags himself forward. He leans against Lillian's leg with a pitiful look, seeking sympathy. No, although I spared your life, this isn't over. Don't expect to see me again. You're only spared because of the trading company's compensation. Go thank them instead. Tristan never expected Lillian to be so resolute. Are you going to let your father know about everything that happened here? Do you think your brother will be spared? Disgusted by Tristan's despicable behavior, Taran can't help but draw his sword. It's fine, Taran. The door suddenly swings open. Dandelion brings Vlad in. Lillian's decision won't change. The punishment stands. After everyone leaves, Lillian continues talking about the follow-up punishment. Vlad embraces his wife. Just rest yourself today. You can tell me tomorrow. Your brother said your mother's death was because of you. Lillian sits up. He's right. Mother's health deteriorated because she kept protecting me. Vlad grips Lillian's hand tightly. Dying from illness isn't anyone's fault. It's just misfortune, Lillian. This is the first time someone has comforted her this way. Vlad caresses Lillian's face. The atmosphere is perfect. Lillian suddenly stops him. She needs to confess. Her marriage to Vlad isn't actually the third one. As a young girl, she once fled from a wedding. Young Lillian was watching over her brother one day. Her father suddenly bursts in. Lillian, what are you doing on a day like this? Father is stern as always. Her brother curiously asks what day it is, as if remembering something pleasant. Lillian's father rarely curves his lips upward. It's an important day for your sister to be useful. Lillian is dressed up and taken out. Her heart fills with anxiety. Where is this father? But her father only scolds her in response. Didn't I tell you not to speak without permission? You foolish girl. He impatiently urges the coachman on. This reminds Lillian of the servants who were beaten. Lillian cries and begs her father to stop. What did her father say? He said those people were beaten because of your mistakes. As long as you obey me from now on, no one will get hurt. The carriage stops. They arrive at their destination. Before getting out, father reminds Lillian again. You absolutely cannot fail. Your behavior today will determine our family's future. A short, fat, middle-aged man welcomes them. He tells Lillian's father to drop the formalities. After all, they'll soon be family. The man is very satisfied. Your daughter is truly a beauty. He can't wait to prepare the wedding and suggests Lillian stay to familiarize herself with the castle. Lillian's father only cares about whether his daughter will lose her value. Lillian is bargained over like merchandise. Finally, the deal is sealed with the man handing over exclusive distribution rights to the mines. Lillian's father shakes hands with him, satisfied. Lillian confesses everything to Vlad. Enough. Vlad holds his wife tenderly. You don't need to say more, Lillian. Father told me what to do, so I begged my sick mother for help. Although we escaped together, the family was left with massive debt. Because we couldn't treat mother properly, she passed away. Lillian often thinks that if she had married then, mother wouldn't have died. Vlad didn't know any of this. He begins to regret bringing Lillian here, forcing her to marry him. In my eyes, you were so radiant. If I had known about those things, I wouldn't have let you go that day. Exhausted from the day, Lillian soon falls asleep on Vlad's lap. Vlad strokes his wife's hair. They actually met long ago. That day in the forest, a group of children were discussing monsters. Lillian sat there listening intently. The red-eyed monster the boy spoke of was Vlad. The moment Vlad appeared, the children scattered in fear. Only Lillian remained sitting alone. She slowly turns her head. She too backs away in fright. She accidentally falls to the ground. The very monster everyone spoke of extends his hand to her. Lillian senses the boy's kindness. He doesn't seem like a monster. Lillian feels sorry that her friends gossiped about him. Receiving her apology, Vlad is startled. He turns and runs away quickly. Unaccustomed to kindness, he flees in embarrassment. Thinking about it now, Vlad still blushes. Why does he suddenly remember this? She probably doesn't even recall it. As long as she's by his side, that's enough. In the morning, Lillian smiles smiles and greets Beta. Beta frantically blocks the door. My lady, the bath isn't ready yet. A sound from inside catches Lillian's attention. Beta gives up struggling and reassures herself. The lady should be fine going in, right? Lillian can't see clearly through the steam. She approaches the bath and discovers it's her husband, Vlad. You're awake, Lillian. Were you startled by the noise? No, I'm fine. More importantly, Lillian moves closer to her husband. There's a petal on your face. Lillian removes the petal and smiles happily. Vlad's face turns red as if boiled. She finally notices Vlad is taking a petal bath. This wasn't prepared just for me. The man removes her outer robe. Lillian is pulled into the bath. Water spills everywhere. Perhaps he wants me to relax. Lillian leans in closer to Vlad. Come closer. Lillian has never seen Vlad so passionate, thinking that this man is only like this with her. Lillian's heart pounds wildly. Vlad takes Lillian's hand. What are you thinking about? Lily, though I hope you're thinking about me. Lillian can't handle such sweet words. She quickly changes the subject. Don't you have work today? Apart from urgent matters, I want to rest for a while. Lillian is surprised. Why so suddenly? Vlad gazes tenderly into his wife's eyes. I think I should do this for you. A bonfire burns in the prison. Lord, you're here. You've been resting for days. I thought you wouldn't come. The two reach the top level. Tristan is being punished here. This torment seems to have no effect on him. The man assumes the Lord came to intervene in the punishment. Although it's the lady's request to spare his life, it's still somewhat awkward. Vlad tells him he's overthinking. No matter what happens, he'll just watch quietly. After discussing the upcoming work plan, the two leave the prison. What about the Yars Trading Company? What do you plan to do? Vlad's face darkens. I want Sherlock to kneel and beg Lillian for forgiveness. A few mornings later, Vlad takes Lillian out. Where are we going? Vlad acts mysteriously. You'll know when we get there. Dealing with the trading company matters to the end. Lillian's brother still needs to be settled. If he returns home, he'll surely be whipped by father. Lillian's brother has often taken punishment for her since childhood. Vlad can't imagine what kind of environment his wife grew up in. He promises to let Dandelion stay in the city. Soon they arrive at their destination. Vlad covers Lillian's eyes and leads her forward step by step. The two radiate the aura of love. We're here! Vlad gently removes his hands. A flower house comes into view. Lillian is stunned by the beautiful sight. Vlad takes his wife's hand. This was built for you. This place belongs only to you. Lillian's mood brightens with the vast flowers here. This is exactly the effect Vlad hoped for. Lillian doesn't just appreciate flowers. Besides being beautiful, they're also signals. For example, around gold mines there's equisatum. As if realizing she's said too much, Lillian stops. Am I being too noisy? Not at all. Tell me more. Vlad looks at his wife. Listening to Lillian talk about what she loves feels wonderful, but saying it out loud might burden her. At some point, Lillian places a flower by her ear. How is it? Does it look good? Vlad can't help himself and speaks his thoughts. Without a doubt, you're breathtaking. Realizing what he said, he's the first to feel shy. Being stared at by Lillian like this, Vlad can't bear it. May I ask, does the Ataka Plateau have mineral veins? Lillian suddenly asks an unrelated question. The flower in her hand only appears where there are copper veins. The Ataka, she mentions, is a place with extreme cold in winter and extreme heat in summer, a desert plateau. Humans consider it barren land. Vlad doesn't hide anything. That's right, there are copper veins and granite. But if others knew this information, Vlad grows serious. If the mines are this easily discovered, he needs to prepare other countermeasures. Lillian reassures her husband. Everyone will only think it's barren land. She also learned this knowledge from her mother. Vlad realizes his wife possesses profound insight and knowledge. She's completely capable of running a trading company. He can't wait to bring Lillian to meet the administrator. Bring me to meet the administrator? You'll need them very much. At night in the castle, Lillian steps into the bath. Was this really built for me? She wonders uncertainly. Building such a spacious bathroom takes a long time. Splashing water alone? Lillian touches her neck. Those are marks Vlad left this morning. If only there were more. How can she have such shameful thoughts? In the petal-filled bath, Vlad enters. What are you doing? Lillian certainly can't tell her husband what she was just thinking. She covers her flushed face. This makes Vlad move slower, but the more she does this, the faster the man approaches. Let me see your face. Lillian's head is held and turned around. They gaze at each other, sparks flying. Even though he sees this face every day, getting close feels unreal. There's even an illusion that she'll shatter at a touch. I brought you here to help you relax and rest well. The Duke stops his movements, so you don't need to be afraid. I'm not afraid. Lillian pushes Vlad to the edge of the bath. It's because of you that I've become like this. She moves close to Vlad. You have to take responsibility for me. If my lady says so, he naturally needs to take back control. Then cling to me like this, with your adorable face with that expression. Lillian lets him do as he pleases, like a doll. They spend a perfect night in the flower house. The next day, Lillian wakes up in Vlad's arms. Sleep a little more. We'll leave later. Lillian softly asks Vlad, last night, will we have a child? Vlad, expression darkens. He's never thought about having children. Compared to Lillian and his pleasant outing, the administrator is having a terrible time. The documents Dandelion handles are a complete mess. He's utterly hopeless at math, the administrator says with a headache. Your abilities are so far below the ladies. The response is a look of admiration. My sister truly is an amazing person. He gives up and waves his hand. You should go rest. Dandelion firmly refuses. No! I promised to help my sister. The administrator sheds tears of anguish. He hasn't helped at all. Looking at the desk piled filed with documents, things have accumulated like this. The matter of opening the territory, he still doesn't know how to tell the Lord. The Lord flatly rejected the proposal last time. Thinking about this, the administrator sighs deeply. He won't listen to anyone. Dandelion has an idea. I think my sister could help. Although the administrator follows Dandelion's advice and seeks Lillian's help, he's still worried about opening the territory. The priest isn't worried at all. I've already informed the lady she should arrive soon. Sure enough, a knock comes from the door. Lillian hurries in. I'm sorry I'm late. The priest laughs heartily. I heard you and the Lord went to Ataka. I thought you'd return later. Lillian sits down to hear them explain the situation. The administrator is clearly drunk, mumbling about being doomed, then clutching Lillian's hand tightly. Only you can save us, my lady. Then he passes out. Don't mind him, my lady. He gets like this when he drinks. This territory lacks communication with the outside world. It's completely self-sufficient, using minerals produced in the territory. So agriculture and commerce struggle to develop. The priest explains to the lady. The people in the city are all abandoned from various places. They finally have a place to belong. The Lord doesn't want opening the territory to cause them to be hurt by the outside world again. Vlad believed that rather than facing a cruel life, it's better to live as if waiting for death. In the conference room, Vlad issues orders as usual. Lord, the next agenda item is... He raises his hand to signal a pause. We'll wait until everyone arrives. The room erupts in commotion. Is someone new coming? The sound of heels clicking on the floor echoes. Everyone turns to look at the conference room door. It's the lady. Welcome, Lillian. Vlad gentlemanly pulls out a chair. Lillian takes a deep breath. I'm here today because I have something to say to everyone. But the others look displeased. What advice could a woman favored by the Lord possibly offer? I surveyed the flowers blooming throughout the territory. 63 varieties are concentrated in one place. Someone quickly interrupts Lillian. With all due respect, we didn't gather here to learn what flowers grow in the castle. The subordinate's casual interruption of Lillian angers Vlad. Lillian places her hand on her husband's clenched fist. She gently shakes her head, indicating she's fine. Vlad tells Lillian she doesn't need to convince those people. It's because I want to. Lillian looks at them seriously and says, because this is my way. Lillian's persistence makes Vlad stop defending her. According to my research, the 63 flower species around Ataka all have metal-tolerant properties. This means Ataka has at least 3 types of metal veins. The entire room is shocked. There are more mineral veins, and Lillian has confirmed there's niter and copper ore. The priest seizes the opportunity. With increased resources, opening the territory is certain, right? Lillian looks at Vlad. Of course. If we could open the city and hold a grand festival, that would be wonderful. Vlad, as usual, refuses to open the territory. Lillian requests he reconsider. Absolutely not. The safety of the people in the city always comes first. But developing hideous now could make it prosper like cities on the Imperial Road. Everyone breaks into a sweat for the lady. Ataka forbids mentioning the royal family. Lillian, criminals are like pests. Once desire appears, it can't be stopped. Vlad turns away. This concerns your safety and the people's. I refuse your suggestion. Rational persuasion won't work on her husband. Lillian can only use a softer approach. She takes Vlad's hand. I'll always be by your side. As long as we're never apart, I'll be safe. Seeing Vlad waver, Lillian immediately adds that they just need to establish a proper management system and laws. Vlad finally relents. I'm only agreeing because I trust you. The lady actually convinced. The iron-willed lord will discuss the specific plan after returning. Only then does Lillian learn her husband is going on an expedition. He received the support request before going to the conservatory, yet Vlad never mentioned it. Lillian thinks that during this time, she must have been too comfortable and forgot that she's only here as the Duchess to fulfill duties and responsibilities. The two about to part are reluctant to separate. Vlad suddenly stops. Lillian, her cheeks flushed, extends an invitation. You can continue, Vlad. Seeing Lillian so vulnerable, Vlad clenches his fist to control himself. You seem to have a fever, Lillian. Vlad seems ready to leave at any moment. Lillian insists she's fine. It's okay. But Vlad considers the exhausting journey to the conservatory and how Lillian immediately started investigating mineral veins upon returning. He gently soothes his wife. Your health is more important than these things. But this is the last night. Lillian is somewhat sad. Don't most men want, after marriage, their wives to bear children? Why do you even stop me from fulfilling my duty? Vlad can't believe it. Does everything you've done during this time come purely from wifely duty? Vlad's question makes Lillian feel guilty. Not entirely. Vlad frustratedly covers his forehead. Did he just frighten Lillian again? Lillian begs Vlad not to leave. She apologizes to her husband. I'm sorry for saying things I shouldn't have. Vlad understands what Lillian is worried about. He promises Lillian, you won't be sent back to Ireland for not having children. You don't need to see me off for this expedition. After Vlad leaves, Lillian is alone in the garden. She reflects on whether she did something wrong. Only a cunning person would use children to hold on to her husband. How terrible. A sound comes from behind. A coat is draped over Lillian. Dandelion, you startled me. It's cold and you're wandering around outside. As her brother, he knows. His sister walks in the courtyard whenever she's troubled. Although Tristan went back, father will still send someone to check if you're pregnant with the Duke's child. At this, Dandelion apologizes awkwardly. I'm sorry. I only caused trouble and can't help. But you stayed, didn't you? Having you by my side is enough. You've changed a lot. It's thanks to the Duke. That's right. By Vlad's side, Lillian rarely feels relieved. It's as if as long as he's with her, she can overcome anything. To let him go on an expedition to a place full of demons. If something happens to him, I'll definitely definitely regret it. Tristan's failure greatly displeases Lillian's father. After finally getting Lillian into the position of Duchess, she stupidly lets others manipulate her. Indeed, the second son of the Ayers family, Troxus, enters. They should have sent me. Troxus sits across from his father. Since he's already failed, there's no need to lose distribution channels over Tristan. Lillian's father decides to go himself. Let me go in your place, father. Let me see what the Duke and Lillian are really planning. This makes his father very pleased. Truly, my son. Then prepare to go to the Duke's territory as soon as possible. At this moment, the Duke is still in his office writing letters, but the atmosphere in the office isn't good. The priest sighs. I don't know what the lady said to you, but at least say goodbye before the expedition. Vlad pauses. Are you really that concerned about other people's marital affairs? Ivan breaks into a cold sweat. If you leave like this, you'll definitely regret it. If there were a child, the lady would feel reassured. Vlad recalls what Lillian said. After her first husband died, she was driven out because she had no children. Therefore, she believes that without children, she'll be abandoned. But Vlad doesn't want her to go against her own wishes. Tell Hans to definitely complete it and deliver it to the lady within a month. Seeing the Duke leave, Ivan calls out. Where are you going? I'll depart before sunrise. Wait at the city gate, Ivan asks tentatively. Are you going to see the lady? The Duke's cold voice rings out. There are limits to what you can ask about. Lillian runs anxiously. Taryn, can I see Vlad? Taryn says awkwardly that the Duke has already departed. Lillian shows a lonely expression. Who knows when I'll see him again? I couldn't even say goodbye properly. Taryn extends his hand. If you have something to pass along, I'll have the knights departing later bring it to the Duke. Please give this to Vlad for me. At the city gate, Vlad holds his horse. He stands alone in the cold wind and snow, lonely as before. The castle is magnificent under the sunrise. Lord, the knight at the gate rushes to greet him. Why did you come back? The expedition proceeds as originally planned. Vlad finishes speaking and notices something in the knight's hand. Why are you holding Lillian's handkerchief? The knight presents the handkerchief with both hands. I was just about to deliver this to you. The lady brought it herself. She insisted I deliver it to the Lord. Vlad grips the handkerchief tightly. He rubs it repeatedly in his hand. Longing for Lillian surges like a tide. Vlad quickly mounts his horse and rushes toward the castle. The knight watches this scene in disbelief. The decisive lord has never turned back after beginning an expedition. Vlad returns to the castle but stops at the entrance, the scent of the handkerchief lingering at his nose. The handkerchief reminds him of her, when suddenly a figure catches his attention. Lillian stands in the snowstorm, not dressed too lightly, yet Vlad still worries. What if she gets sick? Why would she come out in this blizzard? Seeing Lillian's worried expression, Vlad's heart softens for a moment. If she wants a child, maybe it's not impossible. No, he can't do that. Vlad closes his eyes. When his mother died, she told him not to leave any descendants. Live alone like this. And then die. One monster is enough. He can't leave a demon child to Lillian. Vlad knows if he goes in to see Lillian right now, he'll definitely give in. He removes his coat and hands it to his subordinate. When Lillian finishes praying and comes out, give her my coat. Tell her I received the handkerchief. Vlad mounts his horse and rides away. Lillian, I'll miss you. Praying for Vlad, who has already left, is the only thing Lillian can do. Spring arrives through the long days of longing. During the days Lillian spends waiting alone, she sometimes laughs, sometimes lies awake sleepless. A few months later, when Lillian hears news of Vlad again, her whole body trembles. Vlad was attacked by demons on the vast Ataka grassland. Vlad is injured. He staggers to his feet. Every time he comes here, demon beasts appear. Everywhere his gaze falls is blood red. Vlad slowly transforms back into human form. Although all of this is completely normal to him, now he has someone to care about. He must think of his wife, Lillian. Vlad's hand stops as he reaches for his handkerchief. He doesn't want demon beast blood to stain the gift his wife gave him. Vlad returns to camp. His subordinates immediately rush to greet him. Strange and sharp eyes are etched on his face, forming what looks like a black abyss. They all apologize for failing to assist my lord. Vlad immediately orders the messenger. Go back and tell Lillian it's safe here now, because she's the only person in this world who cares about him. When she learns Vlad was injured, Lillian panics, her eyelids trembling. Could Vlad be? The messenger quickly waves his hands. My lord is safe now. He didn't know how to express. The lady of the manor must never have seen the lord transformed into a beast. Lillian is going crazy with worry. The door suddenly opens. My lady, are you all right? It seems quite noisy outside. Lillian tells him about Vlad's situation. She doesn't know the details, so she's very worried right now. The first time my lord brought you to the territory, didn't he also battle demon beasts? With his help, Lillian remembers. The first time they met, Vlad also fought demon beasts alone and then saved her. So my lady, you needn't worry. My lord is indeed safe and sound right now, the messenger quickly adds. Only then does Lillian breathe a sigh of relief. As long as Vlad isn't injured, that's what matters. My lady, I also have something to deliver to you. The person opens the box he's holding. This is a gift my lord prepared for you. Lillian looks down. Isn't this a gun? This means that when my lord is away, Lillian will have the authority to govern the territory. Lillian picks up the gun and examines it carefully in her hands. Then let's go see the territory. She wants to see with her own eyes how the citizens are living. Dandelion thinks the gun might go off at any moment. You should put the gun down first before talking. Hans sets about arranging Lillian's visit schedule. Oh, and there's something else I need to tell you both. I plan to take back control of the Ars Trading Company. After Lillian finishes speaking, Her brother and Hans both gasp in amazement. Really? Although it's still somewhat difficult at the moment, Lillian is already preparing. Hans is very pleased. It just so happens he's brought good news too. The officials dispatched to trade with the Ars Trading Company are trying to win us over for mineral transactions. This is also a task my lord gave me before he left. Dandelion and Hans encourage Lillian. She's not sure if this is the right thing to do. You're doing the right thing. The two give her strong affirmation. The prostitutes from the trading company were also safely brought back by Sir Terran. Most of those women were forced to sign contracts, so persuading them to leave the company wasn't difficult. Dandelion also brings good news. The meeting of the three concludes here. Lillian sincerely thanks them both. She returns alone to her desk, planning the next step. Her father won't be easy to deal with. Lillian instinctively wants to write to Vlad for help. In the end, she sets down the pen. Vlad has already helped her so much. She wonders if he's ever felt this lost and helpless. Lillian leans over her desk. She really misses him. She falls into a strange dream. A cold land, everything so white. Who's there? Lillian walks toward that person. Her heart pounds. Vlad? The moment she speaks, the man lifts his head. His gray eyes are filled with endless loneliness. He reaches out to wrap his arm around Lillian's waist, burying his face in her chest. Lillian's slender fingers gently caress his black hair. Vlad suddenly tightens his hold, embracing her fiercely. His breathing becomes somewhat heavy. Lillian stands between his legs, unable to move. The man before her suddenly increases the pressure of his hands. Strong hands caress her body. Under this sudden touch, Lillian releases a sigh. Her legs weaken, and she leans into Vlad's chest. The clothes draped over her fall away. "Stay away from me!" Lillian's face flushes with embarrassment. Vlad obeys and releases her. Lillian actually feels a bit disappointed. If you feel it's a shame, just say so. Lillian closes her eyes tightly. It's a little bit of a shame. Vlad kneels down like a devotee. He bends down and kisses her pale foot. They kiss each other, as if seeking permission. "Lillian, I want to touch you more." Faint breaths mixed with scorching heat. He wraps her legs around his waist, as if waiting. "Why are you always like this?" Lillian lifts his face. "I really like you this way. It's a sweet dream." Vlad holds Lillian's handkerchief. He wakes. He actually had a dream. If only she had looked at him properly before they parted. When Ivan delivers a letter, he sees this scene. Vlad doesn't even hear what he's saying. He snatches the letter, his expression impatient. "If you have something to say it quickly. This is a letter from your wife." After Ivan leaves, Vlad gently opens the envelope. His gray eyes scan the simple contents. Lillian says she's doing well. She's doing well even without him. On the other side, Lillian is still worried whether her letter arrives safely. Today she brings Hans along to inspect the territory. The residents never expected the noble lady would come to such a remote village. "Excuse me!" Dandelion comes running. If he'd known she was coming, he would have prepared in advance. But Lillian notices the wound on his forehead. "What happened? Are you all right lately?" Dandelion just smiles and says everything's fine. It's obvious he's lying. Lillian wants to ask again, but the residents have already gathered around in a crowd. Dandelion takes the opportunity to say goodbye. Hans reminds Lillian she should greet everyone first. The knight calls out loudly, "This is Lady Godwin! Show your respect!" The territory's residents all kneel on the ground. Lillian has to set aside her brother's matter. She focuses all her attention on what's before her. To hear everyone's thoughts, she specially prepared food to share with everyone. While everyone lines up, Lillian notices a familiar figure. That person disappears in a flash. A man wearing a cloak enters a tavern. The people here are all talking about Lillian. They praise her beauty and kindness. The man pulls down his hat and joins their conversation. Although he's smiling, he gives off a feeling of someone not to be trifled with. The stains on his sleeves are particularly noticeable. Could those be blood stains? The man casually wipes at them. "I hit my disobedient little brother a few times, and he bled a little." The people here immediately realize he's not a local, because here you can't hit your own family. They kindly warn the man, "If you beat or scold children here, or engage in prostitution, your head will be hung on the city walls." The man impatiently sets down his bottle. "Never mind that. Does the Duchess usually come here?" "Of course she doesn't come here." The man frowns. He originally wanted Lillian to be neglected here to struggle, but unexpectedly she not only wears such fine clothes when traveling but also has guard knights and a secretary. He, as the brother, works so hard, yet Lillian lives so comfortably. Jealousy burns in the man's heart. He just can't stand seeing Lillian do well. He needs to do something. Before that, he needs to see Lillian. The man kindly pays for their drinks, but they need to come with him. Claw kicks open the door without ceremony. He glances around, thinking the person fled. Then he sees Dandelion crouching in a corner. As if arriving at his own place, he tells those two to sit anywhere. So, the Duchess's brother gets such a luxurious house. Don't you feel bitter? This is a mansion you could never afford in your entire lives. Claw is sowing discord. "Isn't it enough to just beat me?" Claw laughs loudly, glaring at him. "Looks like you haven't been beaten enough." Dandelion's chin is grabbed. "You're just as stupid as Lillian, putting up pointless resistance. In the end, you'll still have to submit, just like before." Lillian's credit for discovering the mines was easily stolen. Father blamed her, asking why she hadn't gotten pregnant yet. Claw, watching coldly from the sidelines, was praised for his hard work instead. Lillian clearly contributed to the trading company too, but Father said without Claw, Lillian would never have discovered that place. Back then, Claw wanted to say something for Lillian, but Father stopped him with just a look. Claw ended up resenting Lillian instead. Living in Father's shadow at this age is embarrassing enough. Claw fought for management rights to the trading company. Lillian should just spend money like a noblewoman. No matter how capable, she's just a woman, a commodity for marriage alliances. Tristan, who returned to the trading company not long ago, said a lot to Claw. Lillian has changed. He advised Claw not to seek her out. The Duke Duke is the king of hell. Claw dismisses this with disdain. Don't you think that title suits me better? Now go tell Lillian that these two serfs beat you up like this. After finishing her inspection, Lillian returns. She's still worried about her brother's wounds. Those clearly came from someone beating him. Soon a maid rushes over in a panic. My lady, something terrible has happened. Master Dandelion is seriously injured. Master Dandelion was beaten by serfs from Hideous, the maid says frantically. The serfs have been thrown in prison. The young master is waiting in the detention room. Upon hearing this, Lillian immediately goes to find her brother. She can't imagine if something happened to her brother, what she would do. Lillian slams the door open. Dandelion sits on the sofa, trembling all over. Lillian grabs his shoulders. What happened? Dandelion is beaten and injured, yet says he's fine. Something is clearly wrong. Who did this? Dandelion, following Claw's demands, lies to his sister. The serfs couldn't stand seeing him live in a mansion, so they beat him. Lillian doesn't understand. Everything was fine before. Dandelion doesn't answer directly. He only says he doesn't like it here. He wants to go back to father. The two serfs dragged into this situation for no reason, in prison. Hope my lady will spare them. But who could forgive those who hurt family? When Lillian arrives at the prison, she sees the two kneeling there, trembling all over. Their frightened appearance doesn't look like that of assailants at all, though they keep begging for mercy. Fortunately, the city lord also finds too many suspicious points. He halts the interrogation. Besides them, was there a man wearing a cloak? Lillian saw that person in Hideous. Her intuition tells her this is related to that man. Tell me honestly, was it really you who did this? The two honest serfs immediately tell the truth. That person threatened to kill them if they didn't give false testimony. Lillian can only arrange for them to go somewhere safe first. These two serfs have no marks on their hands at all. She solemnly apologizes to them both. The two serfs are moved to tears. She already has an idea. Now she needs to meet the witness. Sure enough, when she arrives, she sees an old acquaintance. Oh, Lillian. Claw, why are you here? Did you do all this? Claw chuckles, not hiding it at all. Lillian can't understand. He could have just come to see her directly. Why put on this show? Claw scoffs. Would you have let me in that way? Lillian, father is furious about your little stunt. Do you think you can stab the trading company in the back and get away unscathed? The city lord stands protectively in front of Lillian to prevent any accidents. Claw clenches his fists. He didn't expect she'd bring guards. This is the best marriage she's ever made, isn't it? Lillian steps forward to question him. So you think you can harm her people and get away with it? Claw frowns. What people? Those serfs? Don't change the subject. Claw, what exactly is your purpose in coming here? Oh right, the prostitutes from our trading company were abducted. I think it was you who did it, but father sold you here to enjoy wealth and luxury. Is this how you repay him? Lillian slaps Claw's hand away. Shut up! I don't want to hear anymore! She turns away. Claw won't let up. Without the Duke, you're nothing. You think you're so great. Claw, receiving no response, still thinks. Lillian hasn't changed much. Still the same as before, blushing after a few words. Who knew? Lillian orders the city lord to arrest her brother. At her command, soldiers seize Claw. Lillian lists Claw's crimes, entering the city without permission and assault. She glances back and continues. You will face punishment. The merchant's way. What you gain, you must lose. Claw leans back. He dodges the soldiers. You think throwing me in prison is that easy? The soldiers rush at him together, trying to subdue him, but he easily fights them off. Claw's green eyes are tinged with savage madness. I heard your husband isn't around lately. Don't tell me you've brought death to another husband. The city lord's drawn sword points at Claw's neck. It's a sharp blade. The blade is sharp enough to cut skin with just a touch. Blood would flow. He stands still, staring at Lillian. Wasn't ruining your friend enough? Now you want to kill family? That wasn't my fault! Then what about your beloved little brother? I've already sent people to watch him. If I die, it won't be as simple as a broken leg for him. Lillian commands the city lord to lower his sword. Claw hasn't been smug for even a few seconds when a cold mechanical sound rings out. The gun points at her brother's forehead. Her slender arms tremble. Claw can't believe what he's seeing. Do you know what you're holding? I know. So back off. Shoot then! Claw looks at Lillian challengingly. Shoot! Bang! A deafening sound fills the air as the smell of gunpowder hits. What? You actually dared to shoot? Claw is shocked. He's nearly going mad. Kill them and come back with me! Then wait for your next husband, just like before. Lillian steps backward. Something heavy presses against the back of her head. It's hard as stone, but not a wall. It's a familiar presence. Before her senses can catch up, a low voice sounds above her. Keep your arms straight. Lillian looks ahead. His voice merges with his slow, clear breathing. I'm right behind you. Like this. He raises Lillian's arm. You must aim for the forehead for a fatal shot. Claw's face turns pale. He's terrified. Why did he have to come back at this moment? Lillian seems to hear an explosion in her ears. The second gunshot echoes in the stone chamber. Claw's body slowly falls backward. Fear, shock, and terror overwhelm him. Soon he's dragged away. Even so, his face remains full of resentment. Lillian quietly asks when her husband returned and how he found this place. Then she learns that as soon as Vlad entered the city, someone reported to him. Upon hearing the news, he rushed over immediately. Vlad pulls Lillian into his arms. He looks at her with concern, checking if she's hurt. His eyes are filled with distress, seeing her husband's anxiety. Lillian tells him she's fine. She raises the revolver. Thanks to the gift you gave me. Vlad snatches it away. He doesn't want Lillian to really have to use it. They embrace each other without thinking. Lillian expresses how much she missed him. She was truly worried Vlad wouldn't come back. She stands on her tiptoes and kisses him first. Vlad's husky voice is silenced. Lillian's heart pounds. Why isn't her husband saying anything? Looking at his blushing wife, Vlad thinks she's even more adorable than usual. He chuckles. Let's go back to the castle. Lillian's silver hair becomes disheveled again. On her flushed face, her slightly parted lips glisten. Did we come back to the castle just to do this? Vlad pins her hands above her head. I missed your embrace. Her heart feels like it's about to leap out. Lillian confesses to Vlad with embarrassment. She shouldn't be enjoying this, but Vlad knows. Noble etiquette restricts women this way. He's silent for a long time, then suddenly stands and embraces Lillian. I think you need to learn this properly. Vlad carries Lillian into the dressing room. The entire room is reflected in the large mirrors. On both sides, the mirrors spread like wings. Open your eyes, Lillian. The mirrors reflect them both. Vlad suddenly moves close. When my hands touch you, what does it feel like? You need to watch with your own eyes and learn well. Lillian trembles all over. Her eyelashes flutter continuously from the touch. It's too embarrassing. Her skirt has been lifted at some point. No matter where she looks, she can see herself and Vlad. Lillian rests the back of her head on his shoulder. She surrenders completely. Vlad exhales a hot breath. Tell me how you feel right now. His low voice circles in her ear. Lillian can't take it anymore and begs the man. Her eyes fill with tears of shame, but Vlad won't let her off. This is lesson time. His voice is scorching. You must follow orders. Lillian doesn't know how long she slept. She instinctively reaches beside her. Vlad is right there, he says teasingly. So bold this early in the morning. The man leans forward, head slightly tilted. Lillian's face flushes. Only then does she notice the man is holding a letter she wrote. It's an unfinished letter. Lillian's heart pounds with embarrassment. Give it back! His laughter sounds above her. Since my wife is so adorable, I'll keep it for myself. Vlad has desserts prepared. He holds a fork and naturally has Lillian open her mouth. Lillian looks into his eyes and opens her mouth. Sweetness floods in. Cream sticks to the corner of her mouth. Vlad wipes it with a napkin, then puts it in his mouth. Too sweet. Very rich. Vlad needs to leave for the training he's scheduled next. If you're curious, you can come watch. Vlad leads soldiers in training at the training ground. Lillian's appearance surprises him. You came. I'm curious about the training you're doing. Of course, she has another purpose. Lillian pulls out the gun she brought. I want to learn properly how to use a gun. That day, although it was an emergency, I was forced to point the gun at Claw. Without Vlad, she had no idea what to do next. Vlad takes the pistol. I won't let you encounter that kind of situation again, but just in case, I'll teach you. Vlad lifts Lillian's arm. The bullets can pierce a demon's shell. They must never be used lightly. Now remember the stance I'm adjusting for you. Be careful of the recoil, but don't be too afraid. Close contact with Vlad makes Lillian's heart race. Under his guidance, Lillian fires a shot. Well done. Vlad praises her, ignoring the target without a single bullet mark. Everyone watching is dumbfounded. My lord actually has this talent for lying with a straight face. Keep practicing. Finally, after several practice rounds, Lillian achieves some results. She smiles. This is fun. Vlad can't help but regret not teaching her sooner. The soldiers practicing simultaneously at the training ground create loud gunshots. Lillian is startled and hides behind the man. I was just startled, Lillian explains. You weren't scared during practice just now, I know. You're not someone who would be frightened by such small scenes. Vlad already knows about yesterday's events. You worked hard while I was away. That kind of decision is difficult. Actually, it's all thanks to you. To break free from father, I can only destroy the trading company or become its master. My thoughts are the same as yours. Go ahead and do it. Whether it's the trading company or this territory, I entrust them all to you. Claw, captured and thrown in prison, still seethes with resentment. Those two must be thrilled. He's still scheming. What can he do to hurt them? A person nearby shouting and yelling interrupts his thoughts. Claw grits his teeth. Shut up! The man strikes up a conversation. You offended the Duke too, didn't you? Need my help? He pulls out holy water. This can kill demons. Claw sits up. Interested. Kill demons. Madness shows in his eyes. Claw, locked in prison, breaks out. He won't allow the trading company he worked so hard to build up to be taken away. Right now, he urgently needs a hostage. A blonde man searching for my lord enters his line of sight. The blonde man doesn't know danger lies ahead. Suddenly, a hand reaches from behind, covering the blonde's mouth. Don't make a sound. If you don't want to die, go report to my lord immediately. It's Terran. The two of them look at what Claw holds in his hands. They don't know what sinister plan he has. Terran decides to stay and watch Claw. The blonde frantically finds my lord. My lord! My lady's brother has escaped from prison. He's holding something and plotting something sinister against you. Vlad puts down his gun and turns to leave. Fortunately, Lillian already went back to the castle. It's safer for him to go alone. He can't let Lillian worry anymore. Vlad orders the blonde not to make a scene. He goes personally, arriving at the prison. Terran, leave that person to me. Claw has been subdued. Terran drags him before the Lord. We found this when we arrested him. It seems he intended to attack you with holy water. Claw clenches his fists. Duke, detaining the trading company must have caused you losses. I can give you endless money, as long as letting my sister go home. You can marry several more wives anyway. Claw's words anger Vlad. It seems you haven't come to your senses yet. He grabs Claw by the collar, slams him to the ground, then grips his throat tightly. Say one more word and I'll rip your mouth off. Spare me? You think I'll beg for mercy? Claw suddenly splashes holy water on Vlad's shoulder. He had kept one hand free. Vlad falls to his knees. His shoulder corrodes, hissing and emitting black smoke. His true form gradually reveals itself. A monster's skin is disgusting as expected. Claw looks triumphant. Lillian arrives to witness this scene. Seeing this, will you still love your husband? Vlad endures the pain. Not here. At least I must hide my wings. I can't let Lillian see my more hideous form. Lillian rushes toward Vlad's wound, but Terran blocks her. Let me go! He's injured! Terran is also afraid Lillian will see. The Lord transformed into his demonic form. Fortunately, Vlad controls his body. I'm his wife. What exactly are you worried about? If I feared him being a monster, I would have left long ago. Terran is persuaded and lowers his hands. Lillian immediately rushes over and embraces Vlad. Don't hide from me anymore. Are you all right? I'm not hiding from you. Claw stands to the side. Watching their intimate moment, his expression shifts repeatedly. Damn it! I clearly splashed him with holy water. How is he fine? What went wrong? Terran sees through Claw's thoughts and steps forward to warn him. Trying to harm someone with royal blood using holy water? That's delusional. Lillian takes the clothes Terran brings. She drapes them over Vlad. Her eyes are full of concern. Please be more careful from now on, Claw says mockingly from the side. Who are you worried about? That guy could kill you with the flick of his finger. Lillian's expression darkens. The one who should be worried is you. You don't value your own life at all. Listen, I won't let you return to the trading company. Claw becomes agitated. Do you think father will just sit by? Of course not. But if he wants to save you, he'll have to come himself. I'll use you to lure father here. They leave Claw behind and return to their room. Lillian carefully wraps bandages around Vlad. You really surprised me. I didn't expect you to say such things. I learned it all from you. Lillian feels a bit embarrassed. Though she just saw Vlad's shoulder smoking with her own eyes, it now looks uninjured. Vlad breathes a sigh of relief. Lillian didn't see my hideous form after all. What Terran said about the royal blood preventing harm was actually wrong. It's simply because a mere bottle of holy water can't affect a demon's regeneration ability. This is one of the few advantages Mother left me. Hearing this, Lillian moves to unwrap the bandages. No, Vlad stops her. It just looks fine. It still hurts. I like being taken care of by you. The Lord is especially endearing at this moment. Thank you, Lillian. There was once someone like you. She defended me when everyone else cursed me. Lillian's heart skips a beat. Really? I'm curious who she was. She was a girl I met as a child, whose smile was beautiful. In his memories, Vlad would hide behind trees, secretly watching her. He heard her defend him to her friends, saying he wasn't scary at all and was very well behaved, like a little brother. Therefore, he always pretended to encounter that girl. Lillian's expression grows serious as she looks at Vlad. She nervously grips her skirt. Her voice trembles as she asks, so, was she your first love? Vlad's expression softens. I liked her for a long time. Does that count as first love? Lillian feels that the girl who could move Vlad's heart must be a wonderful person. Then what do you like about me? She can't help but ask. Vlad chuckles. I like many things about you. Specifically, Lillian doesn't want such a vague answer. Vlad recalls the time they spent together. First, I like your emerald eyes that sparkle when you look at me. Also, though others say you're fragile, I know you're stronger than anyone. This always moves me. Most importantly, your smile. It's just like that girl's. Lillian's mood plummets instantly. So I'm liked because I resemble his first love? Several days later, a group of death row prisoners, including Claw, are taken for a public parade. Watch today's execution carefully. Before long, this will be your fate. Besides the onlookers, several of Claw's attendants hide in a corner. They didn't expect their young master to actually be arrested. One of them panics and wants to rush forward. Fortunately, his companion pulls him back in time. Their purpose here is to gather information. They absolutely cannot be caught. The leader makes up his mind. Let's return to the trading company and report to the master. Their every move is under Terran's surveillance. Will the trading company master come? Since the matter is so important, I should report to the lady first. When Lillian receives the news, she is on an outing with Vlad. She thinks her father will soon come seeking an audience to save Claw. I plan to refuse his request for an audience, thereby delaying to take over the Ars trading company. Vlad complains. We're here together and you're still thinking about work. Is work more important than me? Lillian can't say it out loud. Only by filling her mind with work can she avoid thinking about other things, like that first love. Lillian herself didn't expect to be this jealous, especially when Vlad says he likes coming to this forest, because it resembles the forest where he first met that girl. The wind blows Lillian's hair ribbon away. Lillian watches, Vlad immersed in his memories. Right now, there's one thing she really wants to do. She comes up behind Vlad. This time it's my turn to cover your eyes. You can't take it off without permission. Lillian blindfolds Vlad with the hair ribbon. This action surprises Vlad. You actually thought to blindfold me. Then you must be prepared for what comes next. Vlad is quite expectant. Go ahead. Do what you want to do. Lillian hasn't made a move yet. Vlad suddenly leans closer. What? Is your only purpose to watch? Otherwise, why aren't you moving? Lillian blushes. I want to see you excited. After speaking, Lillian kisses Vlad. Between them, only the pounding of heartbeats fills the silence. Her kisses trail down to his Adam's apple. She bites gently. I hope that when you come to this forest in the future, what What you think of is me, not your first love, and I will only think of you. As Lillian speaks, she unbuttons Vlad's shirt. Vlad can barely withstand Lillian's seduction. Because he can't see, he craves Lillian's voice even more. Lillian gently pushes Vlad down. Besides my voice, you can also feel my body. The blindfolded man is still handsome. Vlad suddenly grabs Lillian's hand. He turns the tables and pins Lillian down. I can't hold back anymore, even with my eyes covered. Your expression, your breathing, fill my entire mind. Their fingers intertwine tightly. They share a moment of pleasure together. The next day, Lillian sees the hair ribbon and can't help but recall yesterday's scene. We actually did such things. She shakes her head vigorously. Now is not the time to think about that. Her brother peeks in. The two embrace. Lillian feels guilty for not taking better care of him. I'm fine. Priest Ivan has already healed me with his divine power. Now they worry about Antonio, the youngest in the family. Though father always doted on him, there's no one left at home for father to vent his anger on. The siblings are right to worry. Lillian's father is throwing a tantrum in the room. Who is it now? Coming in without knocking. The youngest son pushes the door open and nearly becomes the target of his rage. The boy calls out timidly, "Father, when will Dandelion come home? He promised to play with me." Fortunately, his father doesn't intend to take it out on him. Antonio, you're going to become a noble son-in-law. You can't always think about playing. Yes, father. But is the Ars Trading Company finished? Antonio precisely pours salt on his father's wound. Who dares say such things? Are the trading company people talking about the mine deal falling through? There are only a few days left until the delivery date. The man forces a smile to comfort him. The trading company will be fine. Your sister is still at the Duke's house. After saying this, he sends his son back to his room. Antonio turns and asks, "Is Lillian all right?" The man replies with confidence, "Of course she's fine. She's probably worrying about you right now." After hearing the report from his subordinates, Lillian's father feels slightly better. They've already leaked the information to the palace and noble circles. Duke Winter is plundering innocent civilians' property. Prince Marius must have received the news. He and the Duke have never gotten along. With this leverage, he'll surely teach him a lesson. Lillian's father doesn't remain smug for long. He sees the message sent back from those dispatched to Arcadia. He thought Claw would be fine, but it actually says Claw is about to be executed. Lillian's father angrily crumples the letter. "Depart for Arcadia immediately. I'll go myself." The secretary tries to dissuade him. This is a critical moment for the trading company. "We can't do without you, sir. The financial situation is worse than ever." The man's face darkens. "Take out the reserve funds from the treasury. Even if I have to empty everything, I'll bring Claw back." Meanwhile, unaware that her plan is proceeding smoothly, Lillian goes to visit Vlad in good spirits. She's even prepared her excuse to thank him for treating Dandelion. However, Lillian doesn't find her husband at the church. Instead, she sees two people with strange expressions. She steps forward to ask if Vlad is here. The two exchange glances. They say in unison, "He's not here." Lillian pretends to leave but hides around the corner. Sure enough, she hears their conversation. This confirms her suspicions. Wah! A loud baby's cry rings out. Lillian immediately decides to rush in. Ignoring attempts to stop her, she pushes the door open. It's actually Vlad. He's holding a baby in his arms. The baby bears a striking resemblance to him. This is the first time Lillian has seen the scene that Vlad holds a child. Vlad sees that it's Lillian who entered. His expression changes drastically. He turns away while holding the child. "Who let you in? Get out now!" Behind him, the priest rushes in. Lillian asks aloud, "What's going on here? Tell me, Vlad, why are you holding a child who looks like you?" Vlad doesn't answer. He only orders someone to escort the lady out. The priest apologetically leads Lillian away. Seeing the scene inside, Lillian's expression dims. "Won't Vlad even explain a single word to me? It was Vlad who told you to stop me. I understand there must be some hidden reason, but you should at least explain to me." The priest holds Lillian's hand. "I can't tell you anything right now, but I promise the Lord cherishes you deeply." Lillian is not comforted. She withdraws her hand and leaves alone. "You all want me to leave anyway." Lillian walks out of the church feeling melancholy. She thought she understood Vlad well enough. She went to the forest only Vlad knew about. She thought she was at least the person who understood him best in this castle, but Vlad still keeps secrets from her. Should she continue to trust him? Lillian walks in silence. Sir Terran waits for her at the castle. Seeing Lillian's haggard expression, Terran steadies the lady. "Is something wrong, my lady?" "Nothing. I'm just a bit tired." Lillian's mind is filled with memories of when she mentioned children. Vlad's expression would stiffen every time. If he already has a child, Lillian's heart wavers at this moment. She must find something to do. Terran tells Lillian that the contract for the trading company master is ready. Everything is prepared. We're just waiting for him to come. Administrator Hans awaits her next instructions. "Sir Terran, when Vlad returns, tell him I'm waiting for him. Tell him I have questions for him." Lillian handles the trading company matters alone. Someone knocks on the door. It's Vlad. He enters with Lillian's permission. "Terran said you have something to tell me." Lillian removes her glasses. "Yes, I want an explanation. Who exactly is that child you were holding in the chapel?" Vlad wants to step forward and explain, but Lillian stops him. "Just stand there and speak. Isn't this distance too far for talking?" "Yes, Vlad. Isn't this the distance of our relationship?" Lillian holds back tears. "Every time I try to get close to you, I'm pushed away again." Vlad looks at Lillian, who is clearly right before him, yet seems separated by a barrier. At this moment, he seems to understand her feelings. I'm sorry, Lillian, I didn't intend to keep hiding it from you. That child is the Imperial Princess's son. Because he was born imperfect, he nearly lost his life. Now he's been abandoned by the Imperial Princess. High Priest Nerva is raising him. Lillian stands up urgently. Then why didn't you tell me earlier? I could have helped you with something. The child's father is... The Imperial Princess is a libertine, just like the late Emperor. She has no idea who the child's father is. Hearing this, Lillian feels guilty. So in that situation, there was no choice but to save the child. May I come closer now? This time, Lillian doesn't refuse. The misunderstanding is cleared. Let's talk face to face. Lillian falls into Vlad's embrace because she also missed him. However, things quickly take a strange turn. Lillian is pushed onto the desk. This isn't what she meant by getting closer. Vlad kisses Lillian tenderly. The distance between us has been far too great. Looking at her husband like this, Lillian can't help but speak. Actually, when I saw you holding that child, for a moment I hoped it was ours. But you avoided every time I mentioned this. Can you tell me why? Do you want children? Vlad leans over Lillian's face. I never thought about it before, but now I do. Our child would surely be very smart and adorable. Though it's cruel, Vlad still speaks. I'm afraid it will be difficult. When Vlad says it will be difficult, Lillian's face instantly turns pale. Why? Lillian asks in confusion. Vlad holds Lillian's hand and explains. The human body instinctively resists demonic energy entering it, so the possibility of a human conceiving a demon's child is extremely low. A demon's child is a condensation of magic power, so the human body produces a defense mechanism for survival. Even if one conceives, most die during childbirth, Lillian says hesitantly. I haven't felt anything abnormal in my body so far. That's because every time you fainted, Ivan would infuse you with holy power, so you didn't notice anything wrong with your body. As he speaks, Vlad picks up a teacup and pours water. This scene makes Lillian feel thirsty too. I want some too. She reaches forward to take the teacup from Vlad's hand. Vlad chuckles and lifts Lillian's chin. Water flows from his mouth to Lillian's. After a long moment, Vlad releases Lillian. I don't want you to take risks for a child. So here, please focus only on the two of us. The next day, the city streets are bustling. Outside the city, merchant caravans line up in a long queue. A man waiting on horseback grows impatient. Others find it strange to see people from the Ars Trading Company. Why would they come here? But they still make way for them. The man who receives this courtesy doesn't express gratitude. He only says there's a very important person in the carriage. Their behavior is quickly noticed by the gate captain. He warns them not to cut in line. Who do you think is the richest among the trading companies waiting here? As he finishes speaking, a bag of money is thrown at the captain's feet. Is this enough? Unfortunately, the captain doesn't appreciate it. Entering the city doesn't require money. I wonder if those who bribe will be sent to the back of the line. Please go to the rear. What's all this noise? A voice comes. It's Lillian's father. He steps down from the carriage. Master, this fellow is blocking our way. The captain remains unmoved. Even the Duke's family cannot be an exception. You're right. Sherlock bows respectfully. When in Arcadia, one must follow its laws. You're captain of the guard, Sir Edgar, aren't you? I'm not trying to bribe my way to the front. It's just that, from the perspective of so many merchants, waiting in line is terribly boring. Why not watch an interesting competition during this time? I hear Arcadia has many skilled knights. How about having them compete with our mercenaries? I'll offer 100 gold coins as a prize. Those who guess the winner correctly get double. The surrounding crowd buzzes with excitement over this generous offer. Edgar angrily reaches for his sword. A mere merchant dares to manipulate the checkpoint. Sherlock walks unhurriedly toward the captain. In a voice only the two of them can hear, he says, I hear you have a sick daughter. I can provide her with medicine for life. Soon, everyone eagerly joins this game. Sherlock stands back watching the fighting. His face shows disdain. Throw money in front of them, and they pounce like dogs on a corpse. Everyone's attention is diverted. He turns and boards the carriage, ordering, let's go. Captain Edgar chases after him. I've cleared the way for you. Please keep your promise and give me the medicine. Sherlock rummages for the potion. I'll give you the next dose when I leave through this gate. Edgar grips the potion tightly. Don't worry, I'll make sure you're the first to leave. The Ars Trading Company departs from the city gate. Sherlock makes up his mind. First, I'll meet with the Duke face to face. If that doesn't resolve it, I'll take back the daughter I sold and make this marriage null and void. At this moment, the Duke and Lillian are already waiting in the reception hall. Though she knew her father would come, Lillian is still nervous. What if I make a mistake? She clenches her fists. She has never raised her head before her father. Vlad gives Lillian enough confidence. You have no reason whatsoever to back down before your father. I promise. A sound comes from outside the door. My lord, the trading company master has arrived. Sherlock walks slowly with his hands behind his back. It's been a long time, Duke Winter and Duchess Winter. Lillian's body stiffens, frightened by her father's stern face. This is the voice that has tormented her for over 20 years. Fortunately, Vlad comforts her in time. Don't be nervous. Only then does Lillian muster her courage. Alder, why didn't you notify us before coming? Sherlock crosses his legs, completely disregarding this daughter. I recall sending someone to ask if the lady would receive me, but I never received a reply, so I had no choice but to visit uninvited. After all, this is a father's concern for his daughter. You're quite good at changing the subject. After the wedding, you never once cared about Lillian's well-being. Anyone can see why you're really here. Sherlock's lips curl into a smile. Since you want to get straight to the point, I won't beat around the bush either. Please return my son Claw to me. I'm willing to pay whatever it costs. Lillian suppresses her indignation. When I married, he sold me like merchandise. Now he wants to buy a life with money. But that's always been Father's way. But without money, he can do nothing. Lillian speaks her mind directly. As far as I know, the trading company's financial situation isn't optimistic. Your dear son's life must be worth more than the gold coins you spent at the checkpoint on your way here. Sherlock never expected his always submissive daughter to speak up. This is not a matter for the Duchess to interfere with. Lillian slides a document across. Whether I interfere is for me to decide. This is a contract transferring the trading company's management rights. Lillian uses this as leverage. If you don't sign, you'll not only permanently lose the partners who trade minerals with you, but your beloved Claw will remain locked in that dark prison for life. Now, Sherlock panics. He yells at Lillian furiously. Where did you learn such things? You taught me yourself, Father. You showed me how miserable a person can become. Now it's your turn to experience such tragedy. Sherlock scoffs and laughs. What can a piece of paper do? Have you notarized this? You think this can control me? He contemptuously throws the contract back on the table. You imprison Claw. Imprisoning an innocent person violates the law. Interfering with the royal family's trade with our company, even the Duke can't escape responsibility. Vlad is amused by his arrogance. It seems you've forgotten I am of royal blood. If I personally report your crimes to the royal family, you abused your children and sent a pimp to corrupt my territory. You've also committed the grave crime of insulting the royal family. Sherlock is bombarded by Vlad's words one after another. He is enveloped by Vlad's shadow. I hear the late emperor executed those who offended him on the spot. Must you see me, who inherited the late emperor's blood, display your son's head on the city wall before you understand? Unwilling to accept defeat, Sherlock retorts. Do you know the real reason my daughter married you? Vlad directly interrupts what he's about to say. I don't care if Lillian married me for my title or for my wealth. I didn't marry her for the trading company's resources, nor to obtain a spouse I could show off to others. I married her simply because she is Lillian. I hope you'll stop trying to drive a wedge between us. If you have nothing else to say, sign it. Vlad gives his final warning. Unless you want to be locked in the dungeon yourself, Sherlock has no choice but to sign his name on the contract. Vlad leaves the reception hall, giving the father and daughter space alone. Lillian states her plans. Dandelion will stay with me in Arcadia. Antonio will join us too. Let father take Claw. Also, please never appear before me again. After Vlad leaves, Sherlock assumes his paternal stance again. How arrogant. Do you know how your father built the trading company? Lillian remains unmoved. Of course I know. To you, father, your first child is the Ars Trading Company. Not me, not Claw. Don't worry about the diamonds for the royal family. I'll handle it. Also, my husband is terrifying. You'd better not think about revenge. I'll take my leave now. You may finish your tea before you go. Oh, and this is the same tea father once sent me through my wet nurse. Poison tea. This is my final mercy to you. After these final words, Lillian leaves the reception hall. Though she maintained her composure, her trembling hands betrayed her nervousness. Only when she closes the door does Lillian fully relax. I'll never have to see father again. The heavy stone that has weighed on her heart seems to have vanished. Vlad, waiting by the door, steps forward with concern. Are you all right, Lillian? My business with father is finished. Now it's just you and me. Vlad caresses her cheek. I've been waiting for this day. The day you're free from all constraints, when we see only each other. Three maids chat as they walk. I heard the Ars Trading Company master finally left the castle. The lady personally handed him the document relinquishing the trading company. No wonder the lady met with Administrator Hans every day. It was for this. The maids' eyes are full of admiration. How is the lady so capable? They decide to ask the lady how to celebrate next. But when they reach the bedroom, it's empty. Both the lady and the Duke are gone. Meanwhile, Lillian comes to the kitchen looking for Mao Mao, but there's no sign of anyone. Instead, she unexpectedly hears strange sounds. Curiosity drives Lillian toward the door. She's startled by the scene inside. It's actually the head chef and his wife doing that. Lillian's face flushes red as she quickly runs away. She mutters to herself in denial that she saw nothing. In her daze, she collides with a human wall. She apologizes instinctively, but Vlad's voice comes from above. So, you have such secret interests. He steadies Lillian's shoulders and asks, what were you peeking at? I wasn't deliberately peeking. I accidentally saw it. I don't have such interests, Lillian explains at length, but Vlad only asks this. How did it feel? What? Lillian doesn't understand. I mean that couple. Lillian then puts her hand to her chin. Nothing special, I suppose. I just suddenly felt I'm not abnormal. Everyone feels this way with someone they like. Realizing what she said, Lillian covers her mouth. The word like successfully pleases Vlad. He feigns bitterness. So when you and I did those things before, were you unwilling? How could that be, Vlad? I was just thinking about you. Vlad immediately steps forward. While hiding behind the door peeking, what were you thinking about me then? Lillian is backed against the wall. Did you imagine us here doing some things that make people feel good? I did, Lillian murmurs. Lillian grasps Vlad's hand. I also imagined touching here. Lillian's initiative makes Vlad unable to resist. He leans close to Lillian's ear and whispers softly, lift up your skirt and do it yourself. Lillian's face flushes red with embarrassment. I can't do that. What if someone comes? Despite her words, she still gently lifts the hem of her skirt. I can't do it. You're doing quite well, aren't you? Lillian doesn't dare look directly at her husband. She lowers her head and asks, how long do I have to keep doing this? Flustered, Lillian squeezes her eyes shut. She's truly worried someone might pass by and see their shameful actions right now. The hem of her skirt in Lillian's hands is about to slip loose. Vlad steps forward and presses against Lillian. If I don't help you now, you won't be able to walk, my lady. At this moment, Lillian can barely stand steady. In her panic, she kicks over the water bucket by her feet. Vlad glances at the overturned bucket on the ground. The floor is now soaking wet. I'm sorry, Vlad. The floor got dirty. It's fine. This is even better. Vlad's words carry deep meaning. Besides, the floor is covered in water now, so it should be fine, right? By nightfall, Vlad carries Lillian back to the bedroom. Put me down! Every time you faint, I carry you like this. But I'm awake today, Lillian protests. Vlad remains unmoved. Does me carrying you in make you so shy? He gently sets Lillian down. Now lie on the bed. Is that acceptable? Lillian asks Vlad to lie down beside her. Don't go anywhere tonight. Vlad misunderstands this as an invitation. I mean, don't leave me alone at night, Lillian explains seriously. I know you toss and turn every night before dawn. Sometimes you're afraid of waking me, so you go outside. But compared to sleeping alone, I'd rather stay awake with you. Lillian reaches up to stroke her husband's neck. Besides, you won't want others to see the mark I left on you today, so until this mark fades, you have to stay by my side. Vlad chuckles. He lies down beside Lillian. I understand. My lady, I'll listen to my lady. Next, Vlad stares intently at Lillian with her eyes closed. He can never get enough of watching his wife's sleeping face. Even with her eyes closed, Lillian feels an intense gaze upon her. You haven't even closed your eyes. What are you thinking about? How did you know? Lillian turns around and nestles into Vlad's embrace. I don't need to look to know because I love you. Sherlock traded the company to get his son back. On the way back, his face is dark. He walks while cursing. Ungrateful wretch, daring to covet my trading company. Getting angrier the more he thinks about it, Sherlock turns to scold his son. Things turned out like this. What exactly were you doing? Though Claw says nothing, the expression on his face shows defiance. To guard against today's outcome, Sherlock had left himself a backup plan long ago. He'd thought about negotiating with the Duke, but didn't expect his daughter Lillian to be the one to step forward. He'd already had his deputy contact the capital to transfer the account books in advance. Now they just need to rendezvous here. Claw looks around. Father, I think something's wrong. We left the city quite late, but the deputy isn't at the agreed location. Sherlock doesn't think the situation is bad. Everyone in this territory is watching us now. The deputy's situation is probably the same as ours. He must be very uneasy alone, but he'll definitely show up. What Sherlock doesn't realize is that the deputy is only a wall away from them, and he's already handed over the account books in exchange for his own safety. I guarantee I'll arrange for you to settle down here. Where do you think the trading company master will go next? After all, he didn't meet you, his deputy. Prince Marius, the only person the trading company master could rely on, has also cut ties with him. At this point, he can only return empty-handed. Even if he goes back, he can't return to his previous life. He'll face increasingly difficult circumstances. The priest, whom they haven't seen in a long time, comes to give Lillian treatment. I heard you've been through a lot lately, my lady. Lillian thought her health was poor, though yesterday was a bit exhausting. Your vitality is a bit weak. It seems facing the Ars trading company master was quite taxing for you. Lillian sits up to explain. No, I was with Vlad all day yesterday. Ah, so you were exhausted in that way, the priest nods. The marital relationship is also very important. As long as he's with you, my lady, the Lord remains in good spirits. Just as long as he's not around when I treat you with holy power. This is also why Vlad isn't here right now. After all, the Lord is half human, half demon. Holy power is ultimately harmful to him. Holy power has a bad effect on most demons. It's like rat poison, though for the Lord, it's only like an itch. It's still harmful to him. Lillian clenches her fists. I heard that when I fainted before, you treated me too, and Vlad was right there beside me. She never imagined he endured such risk for her. I believe you would also willingly take risks for the Lord, my lady. After the priest says this, Lillian's heart is no longer conflicted. Given how recklessly the Lord devotes himself to you, my lady, I'd like to ask you for a favor. The priest suddenly becomes serious. Can you help me? Please save her Imperial Highness. He stands up excitedly. You can definitely do it, my lady. You want me to save the Imperial Princess? Lillian doesn't understand. Early this morning, her Imperial Highness came looking for a child. She was locked in the tower outside Hideous. It was the Lord's order. After learning this, Lillian rushes over immediately. My lady, please calm down. The guards are also troubled. They advise her to find the Lord first. If you barge in so rashly, Lillian interrupts them. Then he'll just send me away like he did when I discovered that child. Lillian believes the Imperial Princess must have come to find her own child and had a dispute with Vlad. Vlad definitely won't obediently return the child to her. But locking her Imperial Highness in a tower, if the Emperor holds Vlad accountable, Lillian is caught in a dilemma, unable to find a solution. But from inside the door comes the Imperial Princess's voice. It's so noisy outside. The door is pushed open from inside. Come in, Lady Winter. I knew you'd come looking for me. Before Lillian has prepared what to say, she sees Princess Palest, the Imperial Princess, first in line to the throne. Rumor has it the imperial princess resembles the late emperor and invites different men to her chambers every day. Her personality is fickle and willfully capricious. Yet her political talent for governing the nation is universally praised. She's the most overwhelming figure in the royal family. It's said she tests people while chatting and laughing, catching them off guard to see into their hearts. Why aren't you responding? The imperial princess crosses her arms and chuckles. Lillian is so nervous she swallows hard. She bows deeply. Greetings, your imperial highness. The other woman directly lifts her chin. I heard the Duke got married, but I never expected his wife to be this beautiful. Which family are you from? Let me guess. You're the youngest daughter of Count Terran, Yuan Terran. Lillian wants to explain that the imperial princess has mistaken her identity, but the other woman continues speaking on her own. I've heard an amazing rumor and have been wanting to meet you. I heard you refused to join the royal family, left the capital, and joined the Duke's knights to slay demons. I've always thought you were remarkable, but of course, only a knight who can kill demons could handle a half-human, half-demon husband, right? When it involves her husband, Lillian can't listen anymore. Your Imperial Highness, please allow me to interrupt. I don't want you to speak about my husband this way. The usually proud Imperial Princess is surprised. Are you accusing me? I'm not accusing you, I'm asking you. Also, I'm not Yuan Terran. I'm not a knight, nor am I a count's daughter. I'm just a commoner. But I'm deeply loved by Vlad. Before I met him, I always thought being treated with contempt and harsh criticism was what I deserved, so I was crueler to myself than others were to me. Ridiculously, I didn't even realize this. I thought life was supposed to be this way, until I met him and was able to stand up again on my own. He's my entire world, so when others slander him, it hurts me too, because I truly love my husband. Lillian's heartfelt words make the Imperial Princess burst into laughter. My goodness, how interesting! To think there's actually such a thing as love in this world. Why don't you continue telling me about your love with the Duke? Vlad is awkward when expressing affection, but that's exactly where his charm lies. There are actually such things? Lillian and the Imperial Princess sit face to face as Lillian tells stories of the love between her and her husband. The Imperial Princess never expected the cold and ruthless Duke to have such a surprising side. Yes, Vlad is awkward when expressing affection, but that's exactly where his charm lies. The poison tea her father Sherlock sent was also switched out by Vlad beforehand. This is Lillian's first time confiding in someone. The more she talks, the more she says. She simply can't stop. Last time we went to the forest together, snoring sounds come from across the way. The Imperial Princess has fallen asleep listening. Woken by Lillian, she yawns. Oh, sorry, where were you? Making you drink poison tea. Only then does Lillian realize her Imperial Highness simply got bored listening. After telling so many of my stories, your Imperial Highness, tell me your story too. The Imperial Princess rests her chin in her hand, feeling mischievous and wanting to tease Lillian. That's fine. My story? For instance, I was also attracted to the Duke once. With a bang, the door is forcefully pushed open. Vlad walks in from outside with a displeased expression. Your nonsense is getting more and more outrageous, Ingrid. Hearing her husband call the Imperial Princess by her first name, Lillian realizes what her Imperial Highness said might be true. After all, her husband is calling her Imperial Highness by her first name. Could Vlad's first love be the Imperial Princess? Lillian is stung by her own speculation. She blinks and looks at her husband. I told you not to provoke anyone, especially not Lillian. The Imperial Princess ignores the man's displeasure. I think your wife is safer with me. Can't you see Lillian is frightened? If you'd just returned my child to me earlier, everything would be fine. After just a few words, the two start arguing. Stop fighting. Lillian stops them both. She turns to ask Vlad. Why did you lock her Imperial Highness in the tower? I have my reasons for doing this. Her Imperial Highness abandoned her own child first, and now she comes back demanding to take the child away. The Imperial Princess angrily points at Vlad. I didn't abandon the child! Nerva took the child back to raise. In Vlad's view, that's still abandonment. Noticing Lillian's fear, Vlad decides to show the guest out. A distinguished person shouldn't be kept in such a shabby place. I'll have someone escort you to Winter City. It seems you've finally come to your senses. You should have done this earlier, even your wife thinks so. Vlad interrupts her. It seems you still don't understand. What I mean is, please get lost. Everyone present is intimidated by Vlad's low, menacing aura. Vlad helps up the frightened Lillian. The Imperial Princess, given the order to leave and departing alone, looks displeased. How surprising that the Duke protects his own so fiercely. Or perhaps it's the lady's remarkable methods that captured the man's heart. Next time there's a chance, she must meet this woman again. You didn't hear everything I said to her Imperial Highness, did you? Lillian's unfinished words are sealed by Vlad's lips. She pushes away her husband's chin, wanting him to answer her question seriously. What she gets in return is only the man's even more passionate kiss. Their movements are so vigorous they knock books off the shelf. Lillian finally takes advantage of the moment when Vlad catches the books. She continues asking, when were you standing outside the door? The man laughs aloud. Of course he heard everything from beginning to end. Now Vlad asks Lillian to say it again, that she loves him very much. Only then does Lillian realize her husband heard all her words. Her little heart pounds rapidly. But to have her say it directly to his face, saying those things again is too embarrassing. When Lillian won't say it, Vlad says it for her. You said you love me very much. You said when you hear someone slander me, it hurts you too. You said I know about your smiling gestures, your trembling voice, the way you look at me. I respond to it all. Lillian points out that she clearly didn't say that last part. So that's not what you meant? Vlad's hurt little expression makes Lillian smile broadly. Let's say it is then. Listening carefully, Vlad finds it quite pleasing. The rain outside the window seems to be getting heavier. They decide to return to the city early. Vlad agrees with Lillian's idea. However, the sweet words that need to be said must continue when they get back. I've already had the carriage, waiting outside. As they come out, a guard reports that the carriage has broken down and is still being repaired. Are you making my wife stand in the rain? Vlad's expression shows displeasure. The guard immediately asks them frantically to wait in the carriage for a moment. Lillian strides directly into the carriage. Vlad is still worried she'll get wet, but Lillian is used to it. When riding the trading company's carriages before, she often encountered this kind of thing. Vlad, are you going to keep standing there in the rain? So, the two of them sit in the carriage that's still being repaired. Staying in the confined space, both feel a bit awkward. I didn't expect repairing. The carriage would take this long. Right. If I'd known, we should have waited at the tower. It's cramped and dangerous here. With a clang, the carriage shakes. Lillian is caught off guard and pressed close to Vlad. The man grips her hand tightly. It's not too late. Should we get out? What follows is the carriage jolting even more. Lillian is surrounded by Vlad's supporting arms. A concerned voice comes from across. Are you all right? An intimate atmosphere fills the air. I'm fine, but Vlad, your clothes are soaked through. If I'd known, I should have listened to you and not gotten in the carriage. My lord, are you in there? Interrupted. Vlad frowns with displeasure. What is it? We went to the R's residence to pick up your lady's younger brother, Master Antonio. But there wasn't a single person in the mansion. Though frightened, the man continues his report. Master Antonio has most likely been kidnapped. A few days ago. At the R's residence, because the trading company master hadn't returned for days, people were gossiping. Poor young master left alone in this big house, unable to receive any news. Deeply worried, Antonio is very concerned about his father. Something must have happened. Thinking that neither his sister nor brother are here, he should do something to protect this home. Antonio plans to take the documents and go find his sister. But suddenly, strangers appear in the house. You're the youngest son of the R's family? That's right. Who are you? Getting confirmation, the man doesn't say another word and directly tries to take him away. Unable to break free, Antonio asks if something happened to his father. The other person doesn't answer his question. I heard you've been kept at home the whole time. No wonder you don't even recognize the Imperial Knights. It's His Highness the Prince who ordered us to bring you. Antonio freezes. They take him to meet His Highness the Prince. The carriage door creaks as it's opened from inside. The noble prince in the carriage wears a warm smile. Being brought here, suddenly, must have frightened you. I apologize. I just want to protect you from lawless criminals. Come, get in. I'll take you to Lady Winter. Facing the hand extended to him, Antonio doesn't know whether to trust him or not. There's no choice either way. Someone with royal blood wouldn't lie, right? He follows and gets into the carriage. At least it should be safer than staying at home. The people Vlad sent. Watch them leave with their own eyes. Lillian sits in the carriage and hears that her brother was kidnapped. She should have gone to pick up her brother earlier. What if he was kidnapped and something happened to him? Vlad gets into the carriage. We should return to the castle, my lady. Lillian is more anxious about her brother. What about Antonio? They need to find him quickly. Vlad grips Lillian's trembling hand and soothes her. The prince is bringing Antonio to Winter City. His Highness the Prince came personally? Vlad nods with certainty. He probably came after hearing the Imperial Princess is here. It's just unclear why he kidnapped Antonio. But the prince doesn't want to go to war with me either, so Antonio will be fine. Lillian believes His Highness the Prince won't harm innocent people. But she's still uneasy. Lillian is afraid of losing someone again. Vlad understands Lillian's feelings at this moment because he's also afraid of losing Lillian. How unexpected. So you get scared too. Vlad looks at Lillian seriously. Promise me one thing. Never get involved with the Imperial Princess or the prince in any way, no matter what the Imperial Princess said. I want you to stay by my side. After Lillian returns to the castle, a maid comes to complain to her. Because Her Imperial Highness nearly turned the entire castle upside down. For example, just after bringing Her Highness hot water, she asks for cold water. How should I put it? It's like she's testing us. Though Lillian isn't sure whether the decision to bring Her Imperial Highness to the castle was correct, if they didn't do this, Her Imperial Highness would continue to be locked in the tower. If the royal family uses Vlad imprisoning the Imperial Princess as an excuse to make unreasonable demands, Lillian decides to communicate with Her Imperial Highness personally. From behind comes Dandelion's urgent voice. No! You absolutely can't go see Her Imperial Highness. Her Imperial Highness is looking for you. She says she wants to take you to the palace. and wants you to be her personal attendant. She must want to separate you from the Duke. The maid timidly speaks up from the side. My lady, let me interrupt. Becoming a personal attendant to royalty is what every noble lady dreams of. It's a great opportunity to become wealthy and establish oneself in imperial high society. No matter what kind of person her imperial highness is, this is a great opportunity for my lady to leave Winter City and the Ars Trading Company, go to the palace and the great capital to broaden your horizons. But this way, you'll have to leave this city. Faced with the differing opinions of her brother and the maid, what Lillian needs to do now is still to go see her imperial highness. She needs to resolve this before Vlad learns of it. Otherwise, once her Imperial Highness and Vlad start arguing, things will escalate. On the other side, a guard brings good news. My lady, Master Antonio, has arrived at the castle safely. He came together with His Highness Prince Marius. The moment Lillian sees her brother, she hugs him tightly. I'm so glad you're safe. She's very sorry for leaving her brother alone at home. She should have sent someone to pick him up earlier. It's okay, I'm already an adult. Antonio points to the prince beside him. His Highness the Prince even helped me. Marius coughs lightly. A trifling matter, not worth mentioning. He looks toward and turns to face Lillian. With this one glance, he can no longer take his eyes off her. Dandelion senses something ominous. He leans close to his sister's ear and whispers, "Shouldn't we call the Duke here too? This is the first time in my life I've seen such a beautiful woman." Marius steps forward and gently takes Lillian's hand. He greets her. As he formally introduces himself to the beautiful woman before him, he's interrupted by Vlad, who has rushed over. An imperial prince kidnapping commoners isn't enough? Now you want to put your hands on another man's wife? Vlad slaps away his hand. Wipe your hands first, my lady. Lillian looks at Vlad's barely restrained expression. Could he be jealous? Your hands are all dirty now. Even the two brothers watching can't stand it anymore. He actually said His Highness the Prince dirtied her hands. Dandelion, could you take Antonio to see the gardens first? Lillian sends her two brothers away. Both tactfully leave quickly. Vlad, he was just greeting me. Lillian's hand is gripped tightly and she can't pull it free. Marius comes over to join the fray. He also slaps away Vlad's hand. Duke, you're putting the lady in a difficult position. How can you be so inconsiderate toward a lady? Could it be because you haven't received instruction in royal etiquette? I understand Lillian's feelings better than your highness does. The two men lock eyes, sparks flying between them. Clap, clap, clap. Abrupt applause sounds. You couldn't see such an entertaining show even if you paid for it at the palace. The imperial princess enjoys stirring up trouble. She even speaks up. Have the prince and the Duke formally engage in a duel, a battle for the Duke's wife's affections. I can be the referee. Both men turn away. The prince doesn't want things to escalate, and Vlad regrets bringing the imperial princess into the city. The ignored imperial princess leans close to Lillian's ear. Don't tell me even you're going to avoid me. What tricks are you trying to pull? Lillian stops Vlad. It's fine. I can handle this myself. Let's go upstairs and talk, your imperial highness. The imperial princess has the same intention. Never mind these boring men. Let's go. Lillian gives Vlad a look, signaling him not to worry. Vlad says nothing more and turns to call the prince. Your highness, come with me. I don't know where you get the confidence to kidnap my wife's brother. His gaze is cold. I'm giving you a chance to explain. A newspaper is slammed down in front of Vlad. You have no interest in matters outside your territory, but now rumors are rampant in the capital. Not just nobles, even commoners all know. They say you're obsessed with your wife's beauty, that you threaten and abuse your wife's family and friends. The father-in-law who came out of concern for his daughter, you robbed him of all his possessions and expelled him from the territory. Vlad is unconcerned. You plan to threaten me with these rumors? Of course there's more. The trading company master wanted to pass the company to his son Antonio, but you threatened the trading company master and tried to seize the company using your wife's name. The rumors will soon become facts, won't they? Add to that how I personally rescued Antonio from your knights when he was nearly killed. Which version do you think the emperor is more inclined to believe? On the other side, Lillian proactively confesses to the imperial princess that she was the one who seized the management rights of the Ars Trading Company. The imperial princess smiles lightly, not at all surprised. How interesting indeed. Also, for a father who forced you to marry 3 times, seizing one trading company is still too light a revenge. However, the imperial princess pauses. Do you think people outside the city will believe that? You should know that, including the royal family. Nearly all people in the empire consider the Duke a monster. In these people's eyes, this marriage is nothing but a terrifying monster forcibly taking an innocent, beautiful commoner. There are even rumors that the Duke locks his beautiful wife in the castle, and that he quietly disposed of the family and friends who came to rescue her. Even her only remaining brother was nearly kidnapped, and it was a passing prince who saved him. He brought the brother to the Duke's wife. With a snap, the imperial princess places a game piece. Your story will spread in this version. This rumor will reach the ears of His Majesty, who sees the Duke as a thorn in his side. Then the prince will be one step closer to the right of succession. Lillian doesn't understand why the imperial princess is telling her this. Because you obtained your father's trading company, and I want to crush this empire beneath my feet, so I need forces supporting me to suppress the prince. For instance, once the territory is opened. the lord of a territory that could become wealthy overnight, namely the Duke. The imperial princess states her purpose. So, I hope you'll persuade the Duke to enter the royal court with me. You should also leave here and broaden your horizons. How about standing on my side together with the Duke? Think it over carefully, Lady Winter. After parting with the imperial princess, on the way back, Lillian finally understands. Her Imperial Highness came to the territory not for the child, but for Vlad. But Vlad misunderstood, thinking Her Imperial Highness came to kill the child. To protect the child, he locked Her Imperial Highness in the tower. It's so complicated. Lillian lowers her head to pull the door handle. When she looks up, Vlad appears before her eyes, startling her. Vlad also has business with Lillian. I heard that while I was talking with Her Imperial Highness. You also met with His Highness the Prince. From Lillian's tone, Vlad detects something unusual. I asked the prince why he kidnapped Antonio. Lillian moves closer to her husband. Me too. I discussed the same topic with Her Imperial Highness. She gently puts her arms around Vlad's shoulders. Her Imperial Highness hopes you'll stand on her side. With his beauty in his arms, Vlad says firmly, impossible. What if I want you to go? Lillian gazes at him. Will you fulfill my wish? Vlad is unwilling. Lillian's wrist is held by him. But you said before you'd listen to everything I say. That has conditions. You being with me is more important. Vlad leans close to her and kisses her. But even if we go to the palace, we can still see each other often. Wouldn't it be fine if you stayed in the capital together? Vlad irritably loosens his ties. Do you know what kind of place the royal court is? In a place like the royal court, even baseless accusations can become truth. The imperial princess chooses you now only for her own benefit. As long as it benefits her, she won't hesitate to separate us. While speaking, Vlad binds Lillian's hands. Lillian, in a passive position, is pushed down. Her hands are held down by Vlad and can't move. This is what it feels like in the royal court. Hands bound, the only thing you can do freely is struggle desperately to survive. He lifts Lillian's chin. If someone tries to harm you then, can you imagine what I would do? Vlad can't help but kiss her. The next day, Lillian walks alone in the garden, her mind full of yesterday's events. Judging from her husband's reaction, whether having herself go to the royal court or having him support Her Imperial Highness, both are difficult. It would be better to find a way for His Highness the Prince and Vlad to clear up their misunderstanding. Over here! Her two brothers wave at her. Antonio obediently eats afternoon tea. Lillian confides her troubles to Dandelion. During the chat, Antonio takes out something their father left behind. Father said I'll need to take responsibility for the entire trading company in the future, so I want to do something. Lillian clenches her fists in anger. So, father wanted to pretend to resign from the trading company master position to avoid responsibility while still being able to control the company. Antonio, does anyone else know about this? Her brother thinks for a moment. His Highness the Prince probably knows too. The prince's people are hiding behind trees, spying. I didn't know father would give the company to you. I might have made him misunderstand. Why don't you take the letter of appointment? The people behind the trees are monitoring, ready to report at any moment. The Imperial Knights are actually spying on innocent citizens. Marius, that fellow has made the Knights corrupt and chaotic. Her Imperial Highness crosses her arms. What did you hear? Nothing. I was just passing by. The man makes an excuse and hurries to leave. His Highness the Prince has other orders. I'll take my leave. The Imperial Princess stops him. Go tell the prince that after not seeing each other for so long. He completely ignores me and only focuses on trailing after the Duke's wife. He doesn't even come to see his sister once. It truly saddens me. Who would believe that? The other person quickly runs off. Lillian notices movement in the bushes, but she doesn't see anyone. The person you're looking for just left. What are you still searching for? You and your brothers seem so close. Lillian jumps in surprise. How do you know what I'm looking for? The prince is watching you. But why is he watching me? Who knows? Maybe he likes you so much that he wants to know your every move. The princess casually pats Lillian's shoulder. Back to business. I suggest you come with me to the Imperial Court. Have you thought about it? Sister, the two brothers who have been eavesdropping jump out. You can't go to the Imperial Court. When did you hide there? Didn't I tell you to go back to the castle? If you go to the Imperial Court, we won't see you often. Exactly. What if something happens to you? We need to protect you. The princess watches helplessly. Who's protecting whom here? Being so considerate of others will get you stabbed in the back. When you get a chance, you should fight for your own interests. You mean father passing the trading company head position to me, right? Antonio is quick to catch on. This boy is sharper than Dandelion. The princess laughs heartily. Sister is better suited to be the trading company head. I want the trading company to succeed more than anyone. Just for that reason, you won't fight for it? You'll just hand the company over to your sister? Of course, your highness. Wouldn't you? Family shouldn't fight. Antonio's words strike a chord with the princess. She smiles and turns to leave. She has somewhere important to go. The church door swings open. Long time no see, your highness. I didn't expect you to come in person. Is something the matter? Before the princess can can ask, he continues. The child is safe. It's not about the child. I want to ask if that guy has been here. You didn't mention my child to him, did you? Of course not. The prince had just left. He was looking for you. Having gotten her answer, the princess turns to leave. As soon as she opens the door, someone calls out, Ingrid, I heard you've been going crazy missing me. The first prince has been waiting here for quite some time. Marius, your biggest problem is that mouth of yours. Marius doesn't mind at all and proudly states that most noble ladies are lining up to kiss him, but the duchess you're interested in probably hates you. She's a smart woman and will soon see through your base intentions. His thoughts exposed, the prince fumes. How are you any different from me? You even invited the duchess to return to the imperial court with you. The princess admits it readily. So what? Only by convincing the duchess. Can I get the duke to join? When she met Lillian that day, the princess threatened her. Arcadia is full of mineral resources. Should I go back and announce this? Or let you continue operating it and bring you back as my attendant until I ascend the throne? So Ingrid can now tell the first prince without hesitation. Her proposal is one the duchess cannot refuse. She believes the duke will soon take the bait, use them for imperial power, drain them of benefits, then discard them, right? You're no different from me. But the first prince isn't satisfied with just that. He also wants to keep the beautiful Lillian for himself. After finishing his conversation with Ingrid, the first prince goes straight to find Lillian. My lady, you're hard to find. He bends down gracefully and lifts a strand of Lillian's hair. I'm not being rude, am I? I see you're lost in thought. You must be troubled. Actually, it's not just you, my lady. I am too. Lillian awkwardly turns away and greets him. The first prince doesn't mind Lillian looking away. He takes out a necklace. Will you accept this? This time, Lillian cannot remain indifferent. This is the necklace her mother had left behind, which she'd left in her haste to leave. Thank you, your highness. How can I repay you? The man suddenly moves closer. No need for repayment. Just become my consort. How about overlooking the entire empire with me? Lillian backs away in alarm. Let me be your fifth husband. Let go! Lillian shakes off his hand. This is very rude. Marius shrugs. Then I apologize. Vlad can no longer tolerate this. He grabs the first prince by the collar. Is this how the imperial court teaches you to insult another man's wife? Or are you looking for death? Marius maintains his smile. You misunderstand. I'm not insulting her. Only after confirming his wife is unharmed does Vlad release his grip. Marius smooths his collar irritably. Ignorant brute with only brute strength. Lillian just wants to leave with Vlad. Let's talk about today's events tomorrow. Watching the two leave without a hint of discord, Marius clenches his teeth. They really won't give him any chance to intervene. Of course, he won't give up so easily. Wait! He calls out to Vlad and issues a challenge. I challenge you to a duel. Vlad has no idea where his confidence comes from. I was going to let you off out of respect for your status as prince, but since you don't value that, I'll be charitable and accept. What do you say, Marius? This time Vlad addresses him by name without courtesy. Hard to say. I look forward to seeing you kneel before my holy sword. After their harsh words, the two face off at the training ground the next day. Everyone gathers to watch. The crowd buzzes with excitement, though everyone believes the Lord will surely win. Ingrid unsurprisingly appears in the audience. It's such a shame we're the only ones enjoying this spectacle. It should be recorded in history. I heard they're fighting for a woman's honor. If they risk their lives, it'll be quite a show. What do you think? The princess's words make Lillian more worried. She hopes Taryn will intervene. Don't worry, my lady. The Lord is battle-hardened. On the field, the first prince holding the holy sword demands Vlad take one too. Doesn't the imperial court value fairness above all? I'll try to match your level. He pushes away the sword his subordinate offers. Too arrogant. The prince's mouth twitches. I won't put down my sword. He launches a fierce attack. Winning is more important than fairness. Vlad dodges effortlessly. He easily trips him with his foot. The first prince falls flat on his face, and the holy sword flies out of his hand. Vlad picks up the holy sword. Did I say I wouldn't use a sword? What I meant was, even if there's only one sword, it should ultimately be me who wields it. Don't you want to determine a winner? Vlad assumes his stance. Now then, I'll personally teach you how to win by trampling your opponent. With just a few moves, Vlad makes the first prince struggle to keep up. He realizes he's being toyed with. Stop mocking me! Marius is furious. Vlad flicks his sword. Marius falls to the ground. When he stands up again, the sword is already at his throat. Your Highness, it's you who's been making a fool of my wife. You first brought up her previous marriages to humiliate her, and now you claim to fight for her. Don't you find that ridiculous? The blade is mere inches away, but he knows that if the Duke wanted to kill him, he would have done so already. Lillian worries that Vlad might act impulsively. Then the prince will be in danger. She asks the princess to stop the duel. Oh my, the rule of this duel from the start was that it only ends when one side falls. Just watch a bit longer and we'll see who wins. In truth, Ingrid is just scaring Lillian. Vlad knows what he's doing. He only wants to teach Marius a lesson, but Lillian believes it. Already worried, she rushes over. Vlad, don't! Lillian holds her husband tightly. The holy sword drops from his hand. He immediately comforts his wife. Even if you hadn't come to stop me, I was planning to end it here. Marius picks up the fallen sword. Taking advantage of their tender moment, he launches a sudden attack. Too bad jumping high doesn't help. Vlad uses only one hand to break his arm. This is a strength Marius has never felt before. Stop! The princess finally raises her arm. The outcome is decided. The duel ends here. Watching Lillian immediately rush to care for the Duke, the first prince seethes with rage. But this is only temporary. A demon holding the imperial holy sword cannot possibly be unharmed. Will their relationship still be so good then? Just as the first prince expected. Before long, Vlad feels a stinging pain in both hands. Lillian notices something is wrong. Are you alright, Vlad? His body uncontrollably starts to reveal his beast form. Vlad's eyes turn crimson. Unable to help it, he suddenly covers Lillian's mouth and nose. Lillian gradually loses consciousness. She collapses into Vlad's arms. I'm sorry. I don't want you to see me like this. Ivan looks at the lady lying in bed. She must have received quite a shock. Discovering that the Lord has demonic power is already a huge blow to the lady. She never imagined you would use magic on her. Vlad doesn't respond to Ivan, only remains silent. The other pats his shoulder reassuringly. Don't worry, when the lady wakes, I'll do my best to explain. Vlad feels it's better to tell Lillian the truth, not just this hideous face of mine, but also my even more revolting body when I transform into demonic form. Hearing Vlad say this, Ivan just finds it strange. Why does the Lord always talk about himself this way? In his view, the Lord is clearly more handsome than the prince. Don't joke around. To be honest, Ivan is somewhat helpless. I've said this so many times before. How many more times do I have to tell you you're handsome? Wait, the man finally realizes. Could it be that what you see in the mirror isn't your human form? Exactly. What Vlad sees is himself, with skin covered in scales, looking like neither dragon nor serpent. Although Lillian says she doesn't care about his appearance, he still doesn't know if those are her true feelings. Therefore, he still lacks the confidence to let the lady see his true demonic form. Vlad's mood sinks even lower. He feels despicable. My lord, if I may be so bold, the lady has never seen you in the form you just described. This is only my guess, but the face you normally see seems to be visible only to you. To mortals like the lady and me, except when the Lord transforms into his demonic form to fight demons, you normally appear no different from ordinary people. Of course, I believe the lady values your inner self more. No, Vlad doesn't believe it. He needs a few days to think. Ivan suggests letting Lillian's brothers keep him company. Vlad stops and instructs, and wherever I am, don't let anyone in. In the following days, Lillian can't speak to Vlad. The princess comes to her for an answer. Lillian can only use the excuse that the Duke is too busy and they haven't communicated yet. How unfortunate. Regarding my previous proposal to return to the imperial court, I need an answer tonight. After all, I can't stay here forever. The prince has suffered a huge blow and is leaving for the palace immediately. Isn't the time I've given you to convince the Duke enough? You were determined to reclaim the trading company. But if you can't even convince your closest person, how will that work? But Lillian isn't swayed by the princess's words. Your Highness, it's you who wants to borrow mine and Vlad's strength, isn't it? The choice of which side to take should be mine. Besides, there's still plenty of time until tonight. The princess has always known Lillian is smart. Yes, it's your choice. Then remember to come find me before the carriage departs tonight. I'll wait until then. Vlad locks himself in a room. Feathers are scattered on the floor. He's hurting himself. He wants to destroy the wings on his body. Although he's mentally prepared to let Lillian know everything, the closer he gets to the truth, the greedier he becomes, even having the illusion that no matter what he becomes, Lillian will love him. But he knows his appearance cannot change. He has deceived Lillian. Knock knock, a knocking sound. Vlad, open the door. I need to talk to you. I'm sorry, Lillian. Please go back. She's not surprised to be refused. Is it because she's going to the imperial court that Vlad is acting this way? Lillian slumps to the floor. She just wants to see her husband and talk. I'll do as you wish. Without you, none of this means anything. You taught me how to love, Vlad. You're my everything. Lillian speaks with such genuine emotion. Vlad becomes even more certain he cannot open the door. It's precisely because I'm that kind of existence to you that I can't open the door. I can't let you see me like this today. Before thinking of me, think of yourself first. Whether to go to the imperial court or stay here, you must prioritize yourself. If you want me to prioritize myself, then let me in. You always say it's for me, but you're still distancing yourself from me. Is this really what you want? Silence, answers Lillian. Fine, I'll do as you wish. Lillian stops insisting. She turns to leave. Now, she'll do everything in her power for the both of them. After Lillian leaves, Vlad tries to figure out what she meant, but he has no idea. Will Lillian stay here, or leave him behind and choose to go to the imperial court? Night falls. It's the appointed time between the princess and Lillian. I never want to return to this castle again. Inside the carriage, the first prince complains, though it's somewhat regrettable. I'll never see the Duchess again. Who says you'll never see Lillian again? As soon as the princess finishes speaking, Lillian appears in the plaza. She lifts her skirt and runs quickly. I want to go with your highness. Vlad, watching all this secretly, finally realizes Lillian is leaving him. No! He rushes out in panic. He can't bear to imagine Lillian leaving him. Vlad charges toward the carriage. Fortunately, he's in time. Vlad! Lillian looks in surprise at her husband appearing before her. Lillian excitedly throws herself into Vlad's arms. She finally sees her husband. Vlad, holding Lillian, glares fiercely at the princess. The princess isn't intimidated at all. She scoffs. 5 minutes earlier, Lillian, catching up to the princess, asks her to wait a bit longer. What? The princess lifts her chin. When you caught up just now, you looked like you were about to leave with me immediately. Are you playing me now? I'm not deceiving you. There's just a condition. Which is the wiser choice? This is my conclusion. After careful consideration, I absolutely won't go back on it. The first prince nearby is also curious. So, what exactly is the condition? Lillian makes a solemn promise. Vlad and I will publicly support your highness together. So I ask you, your highness. At this critical moment, Vlad arrives. After many days apart, Lillian throws herself into his arms without hesitation. She feels her husband trembling, like a frightened child. Really, who wouldn't shed tears at this scene? I'll let you live quietly for now. However, when I summon you, the Duke's wife must immediately come to the capital. No room for negotiation. Leaving these words, they depart. Lillian looks at the wounds on Vlad's back. Her heart aches. How did you do this to yourself? I'm fine, Lillian. Vlad grips her hand. As long as you didn't leave me, that's enough for me. A sudden wet warmth on his back makes Vlad freeze. Lillian gently licks his wounds. I'm sorry, but for me it's not enough at all. She caresses her husband's face. So let's not waste tonight. Lillian moves closer to Vlad. Should I start first? I've realized, for you and me, and for our territory, we must prepare for the future. What we want is a future that nothing can constrain. Of course, involving Her Highness on my own was my mistake. Vlad grasps Lillian's hand, expressing complete understanding. Because I didn't open that door for you. Since Vlad brought it up, Lillian quickly asks why he's been avoiding her. Seeing me like this, you still don't understand? Vlad turns his head away. I only wanted you to see my good side. I thought if you saw my hideous appearance, you would leave me. Lillian can't believe it's for such a reason. She nestles against Vlad's chest. It seems we still have a long way to go. I thought we already understood each other well. Lillian gently places a kiss. How is it? Even with me doing this? Do you still think I find you hideous? Her hand slowly moves down. Or do you think I'm despising you? Express your feelings honestly. Vlad proves with his actions that men can't resist provocation. He pins Lillian down. You seem to like me. When our eyes meet, your fingertips grow warm. I can feel you want me to reach deeper places, gradually revealing your desire to be conquered by me. Lillian trembles all over, gazing at the man with hazy eyes. Vlad extends an invitation. Lillian, would you like to come with me to Ataka? Ataka? Why go there suddenly? We're officially starting to develop the mines. We've been preparing for months, so I'll have to leave sooner or later. I don't want to be apart from you for even a day now. I can't even imagine what might happen if I left you alone. The next day, they enjoy afternoon tea together. The two brothers are chattering away nearby. This is the life Lillian has always dreamed of, living carefree with family. Vlad pushes a piece of honey cake toward her. I heard you've been enjoying this lately. Yes, that's right. Lillian recalls last night when Vlad opened his heart to her. Then she should be honest with him too. She reaches out. Vlad, I have something to tell you. Vlad, I've decided, after much thought, I still want to go to Ataka with you. This is Lillian's response to her husband. Half a month later, on the morning of their departure, Vlad is unusually enthusiastic, and Lillian can hardly handle it. What's wrong? I'm just personally helping my lady prepare, Vlad says while untying the ribbon at her waist. You're causing trouble, not helping. You're not usually like this, because today is a special day. Vlad's fingertips caress Lillian's lips. My dear, allow me to fully savor this honor. Accompanying you on your first expedition is my honor. The two brothers have been waiting downstairs for quite some time. The morning weather is still a bit chilly. Ah, here she comes. Lillian walks over dashingly in her handsome knight's attire. Wow, you look so cool. You waited here for me without eating breakfast? It's nothing. I heard your riding skills are excellent now, and your marksmanship is first rate. The short-term training paid off. At this rate, you'll be joining the knights soon. Lillian smiles awkwardly at the praise. She gently touches Antonio's forehead. I'm sorry. We've barely reunited, and I'm leaving again. I'll return safely. Until then, take good care of yourself. Understand? Yes, sister. My lady. A voice comes from behind. Lillian turns to see the servants coming tearfully to see her off. Mao Mao bursts into sobs. She gives the lady detailed instructions. Worried Lillian will tire herself on the journey. Everyone is genuinely worried about her. This is something she never experienced before. Back then, everyone just looked on coldly. Thank you all for seeing me off. I'll remember everyone's wishes and return safely. So during this time, I entrust Arcadia to all of you. As the horn sounds, they embark on their journey. Did you bring your gun, Lillian? Yes. A handgun is more convenient to carry, as long as you like it. Actually, inviting you to come along is selfish of me. To be honest, this will be a difficult journey for you. That place always sees terrible things beyond imagination. You must be mentally prepared. Vlad, they arrive at the Ataka Plateau mines late at night. He instructs the guards to go straight to the camp tents. The official schedule will begin tomorrow. Lillian seems to sense something. She looks toward the mountains behind her. Vlad, finished washing up, lifts the tent flap. He looks at his wife with concern. You must be exhausted, Lillian. After traveling for days without proper rest, I'm fine. I just remembered what you said when we set out. You said terrible things beyond my imagination often happen here. Is it because of demons? Vlad is silent for a moment, then speaks honestly. Actually, on the other side of Ataka is Mount Kael'ras, the demon's homeland. It's a place all demons can return to anytime, driven by instinct. I know this so clearly because I also have that instinct. Do you want to return to that place too? Lillian can't help but worry. Even though Vlad is invincible in battle, he took Arcadia, the most dangerous borderlands. Was that also because of that demonic instinct? Does this mean that one day Vlad will leave her? Seeing Lillian's anxiety, Vlad opens his heart. Since I was born, I've never dined with family, so I didn't really understand the meaning of dining with family. But that day, having lunch with your brothers, I was very happy. In that moment, I finally understood what people mean when they talk about dining with family. You are my family. To me, Mount Kael'ras is only my birth mother's homeland. You are the most important person to me. I don't want to leave you. I'll do everything I can to firmly grasp this warmth that melts me. I'll hold you tightly and never let go. No amount of words can express Vlad's love for Lillian. They embrace and kiss. Vlad, hold me. Show me with your true heart how much you want me to stay by your side forever. The next day, at daybreak, the guards feel uneasy. The preparation time for this survey was too rushed, especially especially mine number 2, which was newly excavated. Everyone is more than a little worried. Though no one mentions it, everyone tacitly accepts that demons could appear at any moment. The Lord has arrived! The voice ahead interrupts the guards whispering. They line up while stealing glances. Could that beautiful lady be the Duchess? Lillian lowers her veiled hat and brushes the hair by her ear. Her every movement exudes a unique grace. The knights are mesmerized. Such a graceful person is actually, and the usually stern Duke now seems like a different person. He gently lifts the lady down from the horse. I can do this myself. Tulfa is much taller than the horses you've ridden, so it's dangerous, Vlad explains. Noticing everyone staring at them, Vlad shoots them a cold glance. From now on, let the inspection begin. Lillian steps onto this land. So this is the resource base that makes Arcadia prosperous. You've all worked so hard. Seeing the worksite with my own eyes makes me truly appreciate how hard you all work. It's our duty. The foreman stares intently at the lady. Not far away, the Duke's gaze sends chills down their spines. My lady, here you are. Don't get sunburned. At least use an umbrella. Though the weather is a bit cold, the sunlight is still harsh. Vlad sent you, didn't he, father? Lillian sees right through it. This veil is enough for me. Just the knights arranged. Around me is already overprotective. I know my body is weak, but I still want to maintain my dignity as the lady of the house. The priest quickly explains. You know the Lord is a bit clumsy, since he brought you here. Naturally, he feels the responsibility is great. The Duke truly adores his lady. The foreman sighs from the heart. Of course. Need you even ask? He can't live without the lady. It really makes you wonder if he's become a different person. He's absolutely devoted to his wife, so he inevitably makes mistakes often. Since it's his first expedition with the lady, he's anxious and uneasy. You should talk to him alone later. The problem can be easily solved. As they're talking, a gust of wind blows away the veil from Lillian's face. The blinding sunlight momentarily prevents her from seeing clearly. A large hand reaches from above. Vlad has somehow appeared at Lillian's side. Your skin is delicate. You need to be especially careful of the sunlight here. The blasting is about to start. Put on your winter cap. Also, the parasol and handkerchief. No need, Lillian interrupts him. I don't want to do that. Everyone else is working under the scorching sun. If I don't even show my face, it seems improper. As they talk, a subordinate comes to report. The blasting is about to begin. We'll watch from here. At the command, the work begins. The explosion sounds, but an accident occurs. Debris rains down, crashing toward the crowd. Get out of the way! Vlad immediately shields his wife. Unprepared, he blocks the stones with his bare hands. Vlad, are you all right? I'm fine. He checks on Lillian first. I'm sorry. Until this is over, I can't stay by your side. At Vlad's command, all the knights form up to protect the lady. Everyone instantly enters their positions. Ivan, guard this place. Don't worry, my lady. I'll be back soon. The situation is critical. Ivan instructs the lady not to stray far from him. For now, this is the least dangerous place, though it's not safe either. This isn't just a simple blasting issue anymore. This feels more like a demon beast raid. Lillian is terrified by the swarms of demons, filling the sky, trembling uncontrollably. Even so, standing behind Ivan when she sees rubble falling, she immediately pushes him away. Priest, get out of the way! But in this situation, Lillian stays where she is. A demon attacks and Ivan is helpless. Lillian squeezes her eyes shut in fear, thinking this is the end. The next second, someone lifts her up. It's Vlad. He always appears by her side when she's in danger. In the chaos, another demon attacks from behind. Lillian pulls out her revolver and fires without hesitation. She has to stop it. The demon is hit in the arm and wing. Its body sways, losing balance. Enraged, the demon uses its remaining hand and pierces through Vlad's chest. Blood splatters onto Lillian's face. Vlad's tall frame collapses heavily. Call the medic! Protect the commander's wife! Our lord has fallen! Chaos erupts around her. Lillian's eyes widen in disbelief. How strange. The Vlad I know would never have eyes like this. Lillian kneels beside Vlad. Even as reality sets in, she still can't believe it. Everyone is shouting that their lord has fallen. Lillian trembles all over. That's nonsense! My lady, you must leave at once! Ivan shouts. Protect the commander's wife! It's dangerous to stay near our lord. Leave him! He'll eventually... Lillian shakes off Ivan's hand. Right now, she can't hear anything. She doesn't understand why these people want to abandon Vlad. Lillian holds tight to the body that's no longer breathing. She won't leave her husband. She wants to stay by Vlad's side. Why is this happening? Is this the curse she can't escape? Bringing death to every husband. Those voices seem to echo in her ears. How many times has it been now? How filthy. If I were her, I'd have killed myself. She's no different from a high-class prostitute. These words linger like a curse. Lillian shakes uncontrollably. No, it's not like that. Rubble continues to fall with thunderous crashes. The knight's urgent shouts reach her ears. My lady, please pull yourself together. But right now, Lillian is in despair. Please take me with you, Vlad, even if it's to hell. After Lillian faints, she dreams of her childhood. Children, I found it! Right here. What do you think? In the dream, she leads children her age to the forest, wanting to build a glass conservatory. It's a paradise for children. That's when she senses movement behind her. The scene shifts. It becomes a great fire. Lillian flees with her mother. The situation is critical. They're about to be caught. In that moment of crisis, a young boy saved them. Was that a demon or something else? The image stops just as the boy is about to be attacked. Lillian jolts awake. Where am I? In the silent cave, there's only a faint firelight. Vlad? Vlad, where are you? The cold here is bone-chilling. Lillian trembles all over. Before she fainted, she was at the mine. When did did she come to this cave? Looking around, Lillian only sees clothes by the fire. Those are Vlad's. The clothes are stained with blood. It's all my fault. If I hadn't come on this expedition with Vlad, if I hadn't married him in the first place, or if I had never existed in this world at all, she cries bitterly in regret. I can't keep saying such weak things. Lillian tries hard to pull herself together. No matter what, she has to find Vlad. No matter what it takes. Lillian holds up a torch and walks out of the cave with determined eyes through the howling wind. I will find him. The heavy snow makes it impossible for Lillian to see the path ahead. She can't tell which direction to go. Finally, a figure behind the trees ahead catches her attention. Vlad, is that you? Lillian approaches the figure. Just as she gets close, she sees clearly that's not Vlad at all. It's a red-eyed demon covered in fur. Run! Alarm bells ring in Lillian's mind. The demon's fangs are right in front of her. But where can she run? Lillian trembles all over, her legs shaking. She can't move at all. Stay back! She frantically waves the torch in her hand, trying to scare the demon away. Suddenly, someone lifts her body, and they soar into the air. It's Vlad! Lillian's heart pounds. She holds him tightly. It really is Vlad. Massive wings covered with light membrane, a lower body like a serpent's, and crimson eyes. Yes, aside from these details, this truly is the man she knows. Joy at finding him again fills Lillian's heart. Tears well in her eyes. It's you, the one I know, my only lover. The north wind howls. The snow continues to fall. In the cave, only the crackling of firewood breaks the silence. Vlad, did you come back because you heard me calling, or because I was in danger? No matter what Lillian says, Vlad only remains silent, completely unresponsive, like a frozen statue. But Lillian has so much she wants to say, even though Vlad hasn't looked at her once. At Attica, why did you risk your life to protect me? You didn't have to do that. What do I have to do for you to look at me? Actually, I didn't want to live anymore. This time, Vlad is no longer indifferent. If you hadn't come back to me, I would have done something drastic, because I can't forgive myself. My existence has always been a burden to you. If I hadn't married you from the start, this wouldn't have happened. It's all my fault. Vlad suddenly pushes Lillian away. What follows are cracking sounds, bones breaking, accompanied by pained groans. Vlad starts hurting himself again. Is he forcing himself to transform back? Lillian shouts in anguish, "Stop! I don't care what you look like! I don't want to see you in pain! Vlad, please!" This time, she finally gets a response. No? Vlad struggles to speak, his words broken. You're not at fault. At all. Only then does Lillian understand. Vlad is hurting himself, just to tell her those words. You're not at fault at all. She gently embraces her husband and takes his hand. Vlad, I love you. I love you so much it hurts. Lillian kisses the corner of Vlad's lips. So hold me tight. I want you. Vlad leans down to kiss Lillian more intensely than any response before. She loves this. She loves it. In this moment, he responds with an even more passionate kiss. The cold wind howls. Outside is freezing silence. Inside the cave, passion fills the air. Lillian holds Vlad tightly. She learned in school as a child that snakes, unlike other animals, have a keen sense of smell, are extremely sensitive to vibrations, and possess excellent heat-sensing abilities. These traits aid in hunting. Their nature instinctively drives them to seek warm places. Vlad, continue. After a brief rest, Lillian asks again. Vlad responds only with action. She has a strange feeling, a sense of déjà vu. Lillian remembers during their escape long ago, the boy who saved her. So it was you. You know, I only just remembered everything. I'm sorry I couldn't remember all this time, and thank you. Thank you to the you from that day 16 years ago, and to the you of this very moment. Vlad, let's go back together now. Back to our home. To Ivan and the others' shock, Vlad returns to camp carrying Lillian. Our Lord has returned. Everyone cheers. After returning, Vlad arranges for Ivan to treat Lillian. How is Vlad? Is he getting better? As you can see, I'm not seriously hurt either. I'm fine. But he fought demons. He must be covered in wounds. Ivan understands the lady's concern well, but if you keep refusing divine healing like this, you put me in a difficult position. If I ignore my lady's condition, the entire knights will throw stones at me. Most importantly, our Lord won't forgive me, so please, my lady, accept treatment, even if just for a few hours. Then call another healer. Lillian still hopes Ivan will go examine Vlad thoroughly. Ivan scratches his head, unsure how to explain. In any case, our Lord doesn't need treatment. That can't be. How could he not need treatment? Have you even worried about Vlad, even a little? He's your Lord, your close friend for many years. He was injured so badly he nearly died. Ivan has no choice but to tell the truth. This is the 16th time our Lord has fallen in battle. What? You mean he dies at least once a year? He always has us chain his body. If we don't, he'll leave. But I never imagined that place would be Mount Kael'ras. He can't properly remember what happens while he's in demon form. It takes months for his memory to return. So he doesn't remember anything that happened this time? The confession after 16 years and everything else. Ivan notices Lillian's strange expression. My lady, did something happen? I think I'm pregnant, Lillian says hesitantly, because she feels something different from usual. She saw in a dream a snake egg locked in a box, accompanied by cracking sounds. A cute little demon emerged from inside. So Lillian instinctively feels she's going to have a baby. I'm sorry to say this, my lady, but I'm afraid it's not what you think. Ivan feels he should tell the truth. Before you went missing, your body was almost filled with divine power on the entire journey to Attica, right up until the battle with demons. I've been infusing you with divine power continuously, so my lady's body right now is in the most demon-resistant state in the world. So according According to Ivan, she's not pregnant. In the evening, Vlad finally returns. He hasn't completely recovered yet. His skin still bears traces of his demonic form. Vlad stops at a certain distance from Lillian. He pauses. Are you all right now? Getting no answer. She pulls him to her side. Are you hurting anywhere? I'm fine. Vlad barely manages these words. Lillian kisses his cheek. I heard you lose your memory each time you transform. I'm sorry. Vlad assumes he must have done something terrible to Lillian. He shouldn't have put his wife through any of this. You came for me, Lillian says softly. I said I was scared, that I missed you. You came running right away. You said I wasn't at fault at all. Even in the cave, you cherished and cared for me. What Lillian doesn't say aloud is that she saw their baby in her dream. These tender words bring tears to Vlad's eyes. Lillian, I'm so afraid. I've been terrified that you'd never look at me again. Even showing you only my good side isn't enough, because I have such a hideous side. I can't change how I look. I don't want you to see this repulsive body. You'll think I'm filthy. You'll despise me with gritted teeth. You'll say you want to leave me, and I won't be able to keep you. This is what Vlad has been thinking. It's what he's faced his entire life, even though Lillian doesn't find him hideous at all. In all the time I've been with you, I've never once thought that way. That's because you're kind. Am I kind? From the first moment I saw you, I felt it. You looked like winter in the north. Cold, harsh, piercing as ice. Your image completely filled my mind. Vlad, that form you hid from me before, is that your true form? Yes, after getting a definite answer. What Lillian worries about more is whether it hurts when he transforms back to human form. Only those who are cherished cry out in pain. It hurts. It hurts terribly to become a human body. Each time requires bone-crushing agony, flesh tearing open. If I lose focus for even a moment, I'll transform back. Even when I sleep, part of my consciousness must stay alert at all times. And even when I take human form, when I look in the mirror, I still see a demon. I can only tell by touch whether I'm maintaining human form. Only now does Lillian understand how terrified Vlad has been of the day she'd learned the truth. Honestly, you're farther than anyone else in this world. No matter what you look like, I don't care. I love you simply because you're Vlad, so don't be afraid. I can swear. I will never change my heart. Can you swear to me too? And so Lillian receives his affirmative answer. Past nightmares don't fade easily. Those nightmares may grab our ankles at any moment and drag us into a bottomless swamp. But now, having you is enough. The next day, while treating soldiers, Ivan looks up to see Lillian. My lady, what brings you here? I heard they're leaving for a nearby town soon, since I don't know when I'll be back. She wanted to see the soldiers. Does our lord know about this? Lillian lies. He knows. Vlad went to inspect the mines. If my lady says so, Ivan can only let her in. Lillian offers friendly condolences to the soldiers. She sincerely thanks these people who risked their lives to protect Arcadia. You're too kind. We're more grateful that our lord and lady returned safely. This might sound cliche, I'm embarrassed to say, but the reason we fight so fearlessly is so our families can have better lives. Our lord promised that if warriors are injured or fall in battle, he'll take care of their families. Most soldiers here have followed our lord since the campaigns. Because Arcadia is isolated, few new recruits are enlisted, but loyalty is high. Though we won this battle, forces at each mine suffered huge losses. If we can't solve the recruitment problem, will these casualties continue? Yes, our lord expands the mines because Arcadia has no trade with other territories. All problems must be solved internally, including soldiers for security and for battles, and resources to feed the people. My lady should understand this truth now. Our Arcadia is gradually dying in its own prosperity. Each of these soldiers is someone's precious son, or brother, or beloved husband. Lillian can't imagine what wives who lose their husbands here should do, how they'll survive. Suddenly her body sways. She stumbles. Fortunately, Vlad arrives. In time. Ivan, explain. Why is my wife in a place like this? I'm fine, Vlad. Lillian insists she needs to visit the soldiers first. Vlad doesn't think she necessarily has to do this. Lillian tells him firmly. Visiting soldiers and people is my responsibility. You can have a sense of responsibility, but you don't need to feel guilty. Vlad knows what she's thinking. Forces deployed to Ataka will keep increasing. Therefore, casualties will keep rising. This isn't something you can bear alone. Then this can't continue. Lillian grips Vlad's hand tightly. If something happens and I lose you forever too, she can no longer ignore the current situation. We need to open the territory now. We must coexist with others. Once things here are settled, I'll go to the palace. What did you just say? Lillian's decision comes out of nowhere. If we want to open the territory and gain support, we must establish relations with other nobles. And, most likely, Her Highness the Princess will inherit the throne. If we want large-scale military support and smooth trade, we need the royal family's power. Establishing an allied coalition is the safest and most secure method. Lillian seriously analyzes the pros and cons for Vlad. But after she finishes, Vlad leaves. It's not until evening that Lillian sees him again, though Vlad is still a bit reluctant. He brings Lillian's favorite honey cake. Looking at Vlad, who has transformed back to human form. Have you folded away your wings? It must have hurt. Vlad avoids answering Lillian's question. I've been thinking about why you'd make such a proposal. I completely understand. As long as external threats exist, you can't live in peace. Though I'd love nothing more than to hunt down and kill every last one. If you won't change your mind, I'll go with you. After much thought alone, Vlad prioritizes Lillian and compromises. But he's refused. Lillian stands and says, you don't need to come with me. In this situation, you as Lord can't abandon your post, Vlad asks Lillian back. Can you guarantee your decision now isn't just impulsive? Actually, ever since I met Her Highness and decided to come to Ataka, I've been thinking about all this. Vlad holds Lillian tightly. Remember I said I can't live without you? From here to the palace takes at least 2 to 3 months. The journey will be treacherous. How can I protect you? Without you, I can't eat or sleep. Lillian cups Vlad's face. Her eyes are gentle yet resolute as she promises. Nothing will happen. Didn't we swear to each other? I'm doing this for our future. Because I love you. I love you so much. I want to be with you forever. Vlad suppresses his discontent. If you love me, how can you make this decision? If that's the case, leave Ataka tomorrow. You must arrive before the princess's coronation ceremony at least. Only then will your plan have political impact. Even if the journey is extremely difficult, you must travel without rest. Vlad speaks while turning away. You don't need to worry too. I, the Waven, will travel with you. I'll come for you once things are settled here, even if things don't go as planned. Promise me you'll come back with me. This is the biggest concession I can make. Lillian catches up to Vlad, wanting to say more, but he stops her. Don't say sweet words to me now. Just promise me not to get hurt or sick, and absolutely don't put yourself in danger. I promise. And wherever I am, my heart belongs to you. I'll wait for you to come for me. The next day, Lillian and Ivan set off. She looks at everyone. As expected, Vlad didn't come to see her off. Still, Lillian says what needs to be said. There's something I must ask of you all. First, you've risked your lives to protect this land. I honor your faith and your honor. As lady of this house, I will make this land a place where even your children can live in peace and prosperity. So please, protect your lord, my husband. With that, Lillian and Ivan begin their journey to the palace. 3 months later, she arrives at the capital of the Palest Empire. Hearing that Vlad's wife, Lillian, is coming, many nobles are already waiting to watch the spectacle. To them, Lillian is just a low-born woman who'll do anything for power. A woman who traded money and power for status. Seeing Lillian ride in on horseback, the men despise her even more. Their words are unbearable. No manners. A woman daring to ride into the palace. Did she fool around with soldiers in the carriage on the way here and break the wheels? How stunning must she be? Gone through 2 noble husbands? Wonder if the iron-blooded Duke is also bewitched by her. Rumors say he's a madman. Isn't the Duke also a half-beast monster? Birds of a feather? These nobles dressed like proper gentlemen spew vile remarks non-stop. Ivan is furious but must keep smiling. Lillian isn't affected by them. Then she removes her veil, revealing her face. The nobles fall silent collectively. Regardless, her beauty is undeniable. They say ornaments shine brighter on low-born people. These people won't admit Lillian's beauty captivated them. They change the subject to save face. Lillian simply stares straight at everyone. As expected, low birth knows no manners. The nobles are displeased with Lillian's behavior. As far as I know, etiquette is behavior that expresses respect for others. Is there anyone here I should respect? After saying this, Lillian turns and walks away. She doesn't want to look at them another second. Duchess! A loud call rings out across the open space. It's Her Highness the Princess. She runs over, lifting her skirts. Her attendants follow anxiously. Please mind your dignity, Your Highness. She pays them no mind. The princess embraces Lillian warmly. You actually came! The journey must have been exhausting. What am I doing standing here? It's my first time in the capital. I was just greeting the nobles welcoming me. The nobles who just gave Lillian dark looks are silenced by the princess's stare. Why does Her Highness value this low-born woman so much? After 3 months, traveling all the way, Lillian finally sees the princess. Unexpectedly, after returning to the palace, the princess decorated in the style of Winter City. At first glance, Lillian sees many similarities. She even feels like she's come home. If there are areas you'd like to arrange, I suggest adjusting the layout to consider the attendance routes. Why should I consider that? Because from a sovereign's perspective, the more you consider, the fewer mistakes you'll make, and efficiency will improve. The princess has a different view. I think if the result is the same, less time and effort is better, though I feel it every time we meet. I understand even better now why the Duke is so devoted to you. Your praise contains no flattery, yet your witty remarks don't put on airs. However, I never believe anyone shows wisdom and sincerity for no reason. So what do you seek by coming here? Lillian first presents a gift as a prelude. The princess didn't expect Lillian to do something so tedious. It's not some bribe like jewels, is it? With a click, the box opens. What's inside is beyond her expectations. Lillian explains, I couldn't bring her here, so I tried making this. I just don't know if you'll like it. Obviously, the princess loves this gift. You surprised me. In a great mood, the princess tells her to state her requests directly. First, I hope you'll authorize maritime trade for Arcadia. Second, I hope you'll dispatch high priests and establish theological academies in each territory. The princess thought at most, Lillian would want to keep the Attica mine's existence secret. Don't tell me you plan to make your land's vast mines public? Besides, even if you held a knife to Vlad's throat, he wouldn't allow theological academies, would he? Whether I permit it is secondary. Lillian believes her husband will understand her intentions. She simply wants to make Arcadia a suitable place to live. She asks nothing else. What about the other request? Didn't you say 3 in total? Lillian hands over a list. These are young masters and ladies from 2 families. Could they serve as assistants to His Highness the Prince and Your Highness the Princess? What, you want to plant them beside us to spy? Marius won't be pleased. Despite her words, the princess takes the list. I'll see what I can do. Let's end these boring topics. Lillian, you're sleeping in my room tonight. Tell me every single detail about how Vlad warms your bed lately. The princess becomes improper again. Since Lillian left, though Vlad looks the same as usual, the tasks he assigns have become heavier. The administrators are worked to death. Not only that, the castle's atmosphere has grown noticeably gloomy. The servants miss the days when their lady was here. They all hope she'll return soon. Vlad thinks of Lillian constantly. He recalls the words he didn't finish last time. He loses memory when he transforms. That time, he asked Lillian if he'd done something. She clearly hesitated. The more he tries to remember, the more Vlad's head hurts. What did she want to say? Vlad clenches his fists, endures the pain, and tries hard to remember. Scattered fragments surface in his mind. Lillian calling for him in the frozen wilderness, them embracing naked in the cave, and Lillian's thanks. Vlad remembers it all. He stands up abruptly. How could I let her go through all that? Why could she have no complaints? I promised to protect her, no matter who came. If Lillian gets hurt, not only because of the trouble he caused, but also gets hurt again simply for being his partner, Vlad doesn't dare think further. He must go to Lillian now to protect her. Here in the palace, more than formalities, the princess wants to know about Vlad and Lillian's intimate bedroom affairs. Just as Lillian wonders how to refuse, commotion erupts outside. The maid hastily announces Prince Marius's arrival. Marius bursts straight in, eager to see Lillian. But the moment Lillian curtsies, "Greetings, your highness," nausea churns violently in her stomach. She quickly covers her mouth and brushes it off with an excuse about feeling unwell. That evening, Lillian asks the priest again about the possibility of pregnancy. The unusual symptoms aren't limited to just one or two things. She can barely swallow the meals Princess Ingrid prepared. Ivan decides to consult another priest for diagnosis, but the results should be the same. There's absolutely no possibility the lady is pregnant. Seeing Lillian downcast, Ivan offers comfort. This condition is only temporary. Their conversation is overheard entirely by someone outside the door. "Get out this instant. How dare you? Let that old geezer from Conrad's faction set foot in my bedroom." Lillian wakes to the princess's scolding. What's happening? The maids look troubled. The high priest kneels outside, refusing to leave. "I will continue praying until I see Lady Winter." This stubborn old man infuriates the princess. "Fetch my short sword, the one His Majesty bestowed upon me at my coming-of-age ceremony. Today I'm definitely cutting out that old man's tongue. Your highness, if the high priest came to see me, then I'll meet him in person." Seeing Lillian, the princess's anger subsides by half. For her sake, fine, let him in. The high priest bows respectfully to the princess. "You think I summoned you for pleasantries? What is it, coming here so early in the morning? Annoying." The old man came for the Duchess. "Lady Lillian will meet His Majesty alone. To protect the safety of the Empire's son emperor, I risked coming for an audience." "What risk? Will the Duchess dig out His Majesty's heart with her delicate fingers?" "No, I'm talking about Duke Vlad. As everyone knows, demonic blood flows in the Duke's veins. Demons are creatures that defy the gods. That power has an extremely lethal effect on normal people living under divine protection. Therefore, not only the Duchess, but even you, your highness, must undergo a purification ritual for the next 3 days, including all the nobles who've met the Duchess during this time." The word purification sounds too harsh to Lillian's ears. Ridiculous. How can he so casually say such things? The person he's referring to is the hero who protects the Empire. It's Vlad, who spent his childhood living in the capital. What do you mean by lethal effect on normal people? Are you calling me a woman in chaos? Has Her Highness also been tainted by the demonic aura on me? Well, that's also spreading the gospel to heretics, an act praised as following the divine. Hasn't the church built countless temples on the many lands my husband conquered for the Empire? Compared to certain priests, my husband is the one who brings more people into divine embrace. Yet someone like him, why must he suffer such disrespect? Because I'm his wife, I have to undergo this absurd ritual? I'll handle the purification ritual. Ivan steps in front of Lillian. "High priest, if you conduct a 3-day purification ritual, you'll end up in a coffin, won't you? Indeed, bedridden for quite a while." The princess summoned Ivan specifically to deal with this old man. "I sense no holy power from the Duchess at all. I believe your faith has diminished, which is why I must intervene." The high priest finds another excuse. Behind him, a door opens. Ivan invites the newcomer to verify in person. Lillian is astonished. "Why are you here?" Young Lillian had met this priest before. Her mother brought her to seek the priest's help because their lives were in chaos. She was a cowardly mother who couldn't protect her daughter. Now, Lillian encounters Nerva again in the capital. The old man is surprised too. It's been so long since he saw her. They pass each other. "Though it's been a long time, you're still the same." Nerva gently touches Lillian's forehead. "The aura flowing within you is exceptionally pure. This aura is pristine and holy. You don't need holy power's protection," the old man reluctantly says, but clearly Nerva's word carries more weight. "Must I seek His Majesty's permission to overcome your stubbornness?" The high priest ultimately has reservations. The princess directly chases him out. Damn it. His mission is to bring down the Duchess, but at this rate, the plan will go awry. After the high priest leaves, the atmosphere inside becomes warm and touching. "You've grown up healthy. If your mother could see this, she would let go of all worries and be overjoyed." In the days that follow, Lillian gradually adapts to palace life. The princess cares for her thoughtfully, yet every night when she's alone, she still remembers Vlad's warm body heat. Lillian realizes she only feels at peace beside Vlad. She misses him deeply. Lillian writes a letter expressing her longing for Vlad, hoping for the day they'll reunite once everything ends smoothly. Now she must meet His Majesty Emperor Claudius. Lillian takes her seat and sees honey cake. "My daughter insisted I prepare tea tea and honey cake. I heard you wanted this. His Majesty is completely different from what Lillian imagined. Your background is quite unique. I heard your father was a commoner wealthier than nobles. You elevated your status step by step. A woman who values success over reputation is more precious. So I'm curious. The Duke used to grit his teeth as if ready to rebel on the spot. What secret did you use to make him support the royal family? What secret attracted my innocent son and my wise daughter? The Emperor speaks bluntly. What reward do you seek for supporting Ingrid? Lillian tries to appear less nervous. What I want is peace for House Winter. I want to live in a future where I don't fear my husband's death. I earnestly hope war will exit his life. Beyond that, I ask for nothing. The Emperor swirls his wine glass. What you want is priceless. Then let me tell you a secret of equal value. I've only met your husband twice in my life. Once when he returned victorious from war, and once shortly after that thing gave birth to him. Neither meeting was worth remembering. I never expected that guy to live this long, much less reach his current position. To everyone, he's nothing but a disgusting monster. Don't be angry. This is praise for him. You've seen that form of his, yet you still love him. That truly surprises me. I deeply understand what it means to love someone. So lately I genuinely hope to abdicate. The Emperor drops a bombshell. More than being emperor or husband, he feels he's better suited for the role of father. If Ingrid gains House Winter's support, it would please him, because the Crown Prince's faction is extremely conservative. Though Ingrid has royal bearing, she lacks military strength. With Lillian's support, he needn't worry. The Emperor pats Lillian's shoulder. I entrust her to you. Only after my children grew up did I realize your husband's life has been truly turbulent. Yes, Lillian understands Vlad's feelings better. Neither of them had a father who gave complete paternal love like His Majesty. When facing everyone's criticism, they had no father to hold them close and say it's all right. Therefore, their love for each other is especially profound. Their desire to protect each other is more urgent than anyone's. Late at night, Lillian dreams of the cub again. The cub keeps chirping. Unfortunately, Lillian can't understand. Anxious, it bites down hard on her hand. Lillian jolts awake from the dream. It was just a dream. The princess sleeps peacefully beside her right now, but she rubs the spot where she was bitten in the dream. Strangely, the pain feels real. At this very moment, a group sneaks into the princess's bedroom in darkness. Awakened, Lillian immediately realizes intruders have entered. She quietly wakes the princess. Before the princess is fully alert, she hears Lillian say, to hide immediately. The intruders rush in right after and cover Lillian's mouth, only to realize they grabbed the wrong person. What's going on? This isn't the princess! Already prepared, Lillian pulls out her revolver and shoots the intruder without hesitation. The man angrily shoves her down. The princess hides under the bed. She wants to come forward, but Lillian refuses. Her eyes resolute, she subtly shakes her head, signaling she can handle this. The gunshot draws the servant's attention. Outside, people clamor for knights. Cornered and desperate, the intruder pulls out a sharp knife and presses it to Lillian's throat. There's no choice now. They can only kill this woman, then take their own lives. That won't do. Did you forget? That person said to imprison the Duchess. The sharp blade already cuts Lillian's skin. Blood flows immediately. At this point, why talk about imprison? Kill this woman now. Just as the man moves, he discovers his companions collapsing behind him. Before he can react, he falls too. In her daze, Lillian is caught by a pair of warm, large hands. This warmth, could it be Vlad? Yes. Vlad once again saves Lillian from danger. Lillian looks at the person she's been longing for now right before her eyes. I was actually terrified. I thought I'd never see you again. Lillian's confession is interrupted. Led by the Crown Prince, a group bursts in. Seize that monster. The monster he refers to is Vlad. Damn it. The princess crawls out from under the bed cursing. The Crown Prince fears his sister is harmed. Lillian also shields Vlad. The Emperor rushes over too. Is my precious daughter hurt anywhere? The princess snaps that she doesn't have even a scratch and tells those irrelevant people to get out. How can you treat my savior like this? The Emperor and Crown Prince realize they misunderstood. Vlad simply bows calmly. Allow me to compose myself before greeting you properly, Your Majesty. The Emperor nervously swallows. Seeing her father silent, the princess reiterates that Vlad saved her. Your Majesty, dismiss the knights. The High Priest emerges from a corner to intervene. Absolutely not, Your Majesty. Wait until the princess stabilizes, until her mind returns to normal, before hearing her testimony. Normal mind? Are you saying I'm mentally unstable now? Facing the princess's questioning, the High Priest deflects. Seeing that form, isn't it clear? This is that thing's normal form. Even if the Duke truly rescued Her Highness. If he used demonic power in the process, you must undergo purification immediately. Demonic power is the vile source of slaughter and madness. If we don't stop this malicious filth now— Silence! Lillian can't believe that in this situation. He can still say such things. Do you truly not know how the Empire's peace has been maintained all this time? While you laugh at banquets, day and night, this man fights to the death in living hell. He's never stepped beyond the north. He accepted all this as his fate and lived quietly. Lillian's emotions surge. Tears fall. She wants to say the real monsters are you, but before finishing, she faints. The next day, news of the incident spreads among the nobles. I heard the Duchess took down the assassin, and His Majesty summoned a healer despite Conrad's faction priests. What's really going on? Meanwhile, Vlad's subordinate reports nervously. Fortunately, the lady's cheek and neck are only minor injuries. Can I trust your judgment? Vlad's expression is grim. Of course you can. The priest quickly leaves with his permission. Vlad sighs. Had he been even slightly late, Lillian wouldn't have just been injured. Later he learned from the princess about Lillian's changing food preferences, heightened sensitivity to scents, and sudden nausea. All signs point to pregnancy. I'm sorry, Lillian. It must be because that day at Mount Kael'rus, I lost my memory and left you to bear all this alone. Have you remembered everything? Vlad looks at his awakened wife with joy. Are you alright? I'll call the healer immediately. I'm fine. I want to stay like this, just the two of us alone for a while. I'm so glad you successfully recovered your memory. And about last night, it's my fault. I knew what kind of place the palace was. I should have listened to from the start and stayed by your side. Vlad embraces Lillian. It's nothing. Instead, it makes me realize once again that I underestimated you. You're more outstanding than anyone. The child in your womb will be proud to have a mother like you. Lillian can't believe it. What does that mean? Lillian, you're carrying our child. And I thought all night, if you agree, I want to show our child this vast world. He's still somewhat worried. Being born this way, he wonders if it will affect the child. Has it been properly confirmed? Because I spoke with the priest several times, but he kept saying it's impossible. It's confirmed. The healer has diagnosed it. Ivan also asked me to convey his apologies for the misdiagnosis. Lillian touches her belly. So, this means our child is truly like a miracle. This child is an incomparably precious gift. Lillian smiles. We must bring this child into the world. The emperor convenes a meeting with all the council elders. They discuss how to handle last night's incident. Vlad watches them expressionlessly. The nobles feel chills from his gaze. The emperor asks about the princess's condition. The high priest says she's unharmed. However, he's still concerned that evil energy may cause mental damage, so observation is needed. Someone questions, are you saying she has mental damage now? Yes. What Her Highness witnessed as a woman was too shocking. Though we don't know how the Duke entered the chamber, the same way as last time. Vlad interrupts the high priest. The day I severed the Southern King's head, I used the same method. Everyone is frightened. Someone dares to challenge. I heard you haven't undergone the purification ritual. Is it appropriate for you to be here? It seems you still don't understand. I've already met High Priest Nerva. This matter needs no further discussion. Now Vlad goes on the offensive. Shouldn't we first discuss the high priest's disrespectful behavior? Why did you barge into Her Highness's chamber days ago? The high priest slams the table, saying it was for the purification ritual. You called two noble ladies women in chaos. So this is the high priest's method of purification? The emperor only learns this now. Vlad stands. He requests His Majesty not only expel the mastermind behind this incident, but also hold the imperial guard who protected Her Highness accountable. The emperor nods in agreement. You two saved the princess. I promise you one thing. Whatever you want, just ask. But Vlad has one request. He asks to depose the crown prince. This is beyond the emperor's expectations. How dare you speak so recklessly? Before the emperor's anger fully erupts, Vlad states his reason. The mastermind behind this assassination is Crown Prince Marius. One assassin remains alive. If testimony is needed, you may order at any time. Outrageous! You're merely a duke. The Crown Prince's faction immediately rises. There are also witnesses. Recently, nobles around His Highness, the Crown Prince, formed factions and were snooping around Her Highness's chamber. The evidence is irrefutable. The Emperor has no choice but to believe. Duchess! The princess excitedly seeks out Lillian. Are you feeling better? Just hearing Lillian say she's fine isn't enough. She wants the High Priest's confirmation. The Duchess is well. Even with holy power flowing, the child grows strong in her womb. Thank you, Your Highness. This is all thanks to your caring attention. The princess grasps Lillian's hand in return. I should thank you. When your life was in danger, you still chose to protect me first. And the matter you asked of me, I haven't forgotten. I arranged for those young lords and ladies from those two families to serve as deputy administrators to Prince Marius. I thought that request was rather odd at the time, but thanks to them, we obtained decisive testimony. Marius is the mastermind behind this attack. Lillian never imagined this would happen. She was just being cautious. The princess is still grateful to Lillian. Thanks to you, the Duke successfully reported Marius swiftly and decisively. His Majesty has ordered Marius stripped of his heir candidacy. From now on, he has no authority to execute anything within the palace. Is this true? It's true. Vlad, entering through the door, answers Lillian. The next second, he asks the princess to leave. I apologize, but my wife needs rest. What a foul temper. You think I came for idle chatter? I have other serious business. You two are now my true allies. You needn't worry about discrimination in the capital anymore. I won't forget those who help me, nor those who wrong me. Vlad then asks the princess for several favors. Oh, fine. Speak quickly. First, my wife and I plan to stay in the palace until the child is born. The best doctors are all in the palace. This is the optimal choice, Vlad explains to Lillian. Moreover, the journey from the palace to Hideous territory is arduous. He doesn't want her to suffer. Though I wish the child could be born in our home, your safety is my top priority. The princess is happy Lillian will stay. So before leaving the palace, I'd like to request His Majesty order that no one be allowed to summon my wife. And if anyone wishes to see my wife, they must notify us by letter at least 3 days in advance. Your Highness, you must know how careful one must be with health before childbirth. Do you think so too? The princess looks at Lillian. I also hope to spend some time alone with Vlad for now. Alright, I understand. I'll tell His Majesty. You two just focus on the pregnancy peacefully. At night, Lillian leans against Vlad's chest. Can't sleep? Worried about the prince? No. It's been so long since we lay together like this, it doesn't feel real. Lillian passionately kisses Vlad's lips. Vlad restrains himself. We must be careful for the child. They said our child is already growing strong. Moderation is actually beneficial for prenatal education. Lillian caresses Vlad's shoulder. Spread your wings for me. I want you to embrace me more fiercely.